are 2 in 5 people under the age of 30 say they're struggling to make ends meet or getting by with limited security. They interviewed 2,096 adults ages 18 to 29 between March 14th and the 25th of 2025. Says among that age group, financial security mostly affected women, Hispanics, and those without college degrees.
Only thing that matters, economy.
Economy, dude.
That's it. Nobody cares.
I'm telling you.
Nobody cares about anything else. You've got kids. How are they doing?
Yep.
Right? My little brothers and sisters, by the way, who make stupid money, still have to live with my parent in California.
Yep.
Because rent there is, I mean, as much as we complain about rent here, it is, to afford a house, they would have to come up with about $200,000
easily.
The insanity.
Yeah.
And they're making 6 figures.
Yeah.
And it is insane. The only thing that matters. Prices have gone up here. I see that rents are slowly coming down, and they're trying to figure out how do we get more affordable housing. The affordable housing, you know how you do that? You build more homes. You know why Texas doesn't have a problem? Because they're like, you want to build a house? Go ahead. We don't care. Here are the plans. Okay, cool. Here. Yeah, go ahead. Do it.
There you go.
And so if 5 people move in, they build 5 houses. Where a lot of places, in that way.
Yeah.
And it is life. We care about all the little things. Yes, it matters here and there, the noise. You know what matters? Paying your bills.
Paying your bills, baby.
Paying your bills. I'll tell you what. People say money can't buy you happiness. No, it can't, but it buys you peace of mind. Let me tell you what you can't have. Happiness without peace of mind.
No. There is no happiness if you don't have peace of mind, man. Here's another thing, too. According to this survey, many young people are graduating with high levels of college debt. That's still happening.
Yeah.
You've got to be smart going into college before you take out these loans, man.
Yeah, I was so fortunate during COVID that I had a nice job that was able to help me pay off all my loans. And I didn't even have that much. I still had, I think when I got out, $12,000, and I only went for a year and a half and was able to pay it all off during COVID because I worked for Amazon. But I was like, there are so many other people around me that are like, yeah, I still owe $50,000 in debt just for going to a couple of classes for a couple of years. It's nuts.
Yeah, it is. A couple of years, right? Like, what'd you get out of it? People are coming out. They're going to school with 100. They're coming out even with 50% or 60% of their stuff covered by grants, this, that, and the other. They're coming out with $60,000, $70,000 in loans, and that they're going to have forever unless they win the lottery. And they're going to pay. They're going to pay on it for 10 years and find out they went from $60,000 in loan to $62,000 in loans. And we sit here and we're like, okay, what kind of job did you get? They're like, I got a job that pays me $48,000 a year. So you went and you got $60,000 in loans and a $200,000 degree. Did a job that pays you $48,000. That's not a return on your investment.
Nope. Or you're running into things like, oh, you don't have any experience? Sorry.
Yeah. And that's why I'm glad to see a lot of companies now are getting rid of the college degree thing. They're saying, you know what? Yeah, you got a college degree. That's great. And you need to get experience. But this guy over here didn't go to college, but they do have 8 years of experience in what we do.
Yeah.
And the things that matter. I mean, we sit here, and I was joking with you, Ken. I was like, who sits there and freaks out about stuff like, if you sit around all day and you watch Fox News or MSNBC, the things like immigration, as far as that guy Abrego goes, or some of this other stuff, it gets people talking, and it's a loud noise, and it's what the extremes focus on in a lot of ways. But what matters every day? Are you having to make a choice of like, okay, I'm going to see if my landlord will let me pay on Friday instead of Monday when it's due?
Yep.
That's what, I mean, that's it right there. Like you're making choices like if I pay him now, then they're going to shut my cell phone bill. If you're having to hide your car because they're looking for you.
Yeah. That's not peace of mind.
That is not. No. Sandra just said money buys choices. Yeah, absolutely. It buys choices. It buys you that peace of mind, though, where and it doesn't mean, look, I've known people who are beyond wealthy and are still down and depressed, but they don't worry about the things that everybody else is worrying about. That's just something that's a chemical imbalance. Mm-hmm. Was it Daniel Tosh said? I know money doesn't buy happiness, but have you ever seen somebody sad on a jet ski? No. No. The only thing that matters is, can you pay your bills? And not just pay your bills. Pay your bills and not have to stress about paying your bills tomorrow, or not have to stress about having to put that thing back at the store, or how many of you out there, we've all been there, man. You're just hoping to God there's enough on this card that you don't get declined in front of everybody.
Exactly. Well, and speaking of cards, I mean, credit card debt is at record levels in this country.
Yep.
I'm telling you, man.
That's the new, like, to me, I look at that and I've said, this is, the credit cards are the housing crisis.
That's going to be a problem, man.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's going to come due one of these days.
Oh, and when Trump was in office the first time, things were good. Let's not pretend that they weren't there, Democrats. They were good.
Yep.
Right? I mean, the chaos around Trump, I attribute that as much to, you can say it was Trump, a little bit Trump, a little bit of the media, and the echo chambers. Sure. But the economy was rolling. And what happened? Well, you had enough money after your check to not have to worry, put a little away, spend a little. Then COVID hit through nobody's fault of their own, outside of the Chinese with their pretend bat flu that Dr. Fauci helped orchestrate. So all of a sudden, though, they were handing out free money. And everybody was told, freeze. You can't kick anybody out of the house, do anything.
Yep.
So people had free money. And, of course, they were all wise with it.
Oh, yes. All of them stashed it away for a rainy day.
They invested it properly. I saved up money and put it in an IRA. And put it in ETFs and some other stuff. No, they were stupid. They bought big screen TVs, like you said, PlayStations and things like that. Then what happened is, okay, inflation came, right? Because we had all of this stuff happening at once. Once the inflation hit, now all of a sudden your paycheck got you to that point, but there was nothing left over. And then prices start to increase more. Rent became due. And then it went from it covered everything to it didn't cover everything. Now you're making choices. You're getting an extension because you don't want to change the way you live because you think it's going to come down. So you're getting an extension on your credit cards. You're getting it pushed out. You're expanding the amount that they're going to loan you. And then what happens? Well, all of a sudden, rates start to go up. Then things get really crazy. And now people have 2 jobs. They got their side hustle. It's, that's why Bell's not here today. I mean, I know he's a good dancer. We expect that. He said, Chad, I got my assless chaps and I'm ready to roll. So
he's got the hair flowing. It's not pulled back today.
Fantastic. It looks delicious. I said, dude, you got to do what you got to do. So, but several people I know, and by the way, what's the weirdest thing? And I'm sure you've seen this, Ken, and you've seen this, Mason. People roll up, like if you order a pizza and you're like, that dude's driving a Lexus.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, wait, what? Because it's, or they're driving a car that you would think that, because you think pizza, you think young kid maybe drives that. No, they're driving real cars that you would think, car payments are through the roof. That too is nuts, dude. What's the average car payment? Somebody look that up for me if we have a machine. The average car payment today, I bet is crazy.
I know we've got one that is either at or a little bit over $300 a month.
Most people would kill for that.
Yeah, we actually got a good one.
Average car rate for the average American is $737 for a brand new vehicle.
Yep.
That's
why we buy used, baby.
That's it. Never. The minute you drive it off the lot, it goes down 20%.
So fast. Yeah, I was talking about that with Chris because he just had his car totaled.
Yeah.
And they're looking at getting new cars. They talked about getting one of those used Teslas with a Model Y. He's like, I wanted to get a new one, but the depreciation is just not worth it.
No, it's not. And right now, there's good deals for Teslas. I don't know if you're aware of this. There's some stuff going on with him that is a little uncomfortable.
Maybe.
But it's just, these things are the things that matter. The rest of it is just, it's hyperbole. It's great to get people talking, but when you think about it, and you can tell by the text lines, people start texting left, right, and center. Oh, let me tell you about this, or my kids, and that's the big one too.
Kids.
we should have this debate. In fact, when we come back here a little bit, we're going to have this debate. Like, how many of you have your kids at home? And what is, I mean, the kids, man, I worry about my kids. Like, I look at my son, and I'm like, man, I keep telling him, like you told yours. My son's 14. He told me the other day, he's like, Dad, I want to go get a trade. I don't want to go to college. I want something I can fall back on, and I don't feel like taking out a couple $100,000 in loans that you're going to have to pay back, Dad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, and I get it. But then you start thinking, like, when I'm a different case because I moved to Europe when I was 16. So when I was, not only was I out of the house, I was out of the country.
Yeah.
So, but like all of my friends, how many of us were just biting our teeth till we were 18, not to just go to college, but to get an apartment with your buddies?
Absolutely.
Now you got to have 14 friends to afford your one-bedroom apartment.
Yeah, I live with 4 other roommates. Granted, 2 of them are my brothers.
And that's in a tent.
Yeah. On the other side of 24. It's nuts.
So you live with 4 roommates?
Yeah. There are 4 of us. 2 of them are my brothers, so there 3 of us are related. Okay, 4 of us are related.
You couldn't, like, on your own.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely not. I could not. With the 2 jobs that I work and then the other jobs I work on the side, I couldn't afford to find my own place here in Nashville without having to give away my entire paycheck every single time.
Yeah, and that's not a good way to live. It's not. We'll talk a little bit more about that, like how many of you have kids moving back? How many of you still upping kids out? Because that's a growing thing, too.
Yep.
We got fun stuff, too. It's not just about this, including, guys, something's up for sale, and I think we should all pull our money and get it. I'm very excited about this. This is going to be a party. So a bunch of other good things. Bell's off today, so you're stuck with just the 3 of us. Mason's here, Ken's here, and I'm here. Lots of rain going on outside. Ken's got the latest on that. It's Jeff Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7. Yo-yo dieting is awful. Obesity's on the rise. And one of the things that happens with yo-yo dieting that people don't realize is over a long period of time after several attempts, what ends up happening is your body starts to struggle, becomes harder to lose the weight. But on top of that, you risk increasing the chances of heart attack, stroke, diabetes, type 2 diabetes. With lean, this is what's great. There's no prescriptions. There is no shots. It's natural, formulated by doctors and scientists. And it works in 3 different ways. The first way is it's about blood sugar levels, keeping them steady, which is important. The second thing, it's about food cravings. That food noise for so many of us it drives us crazy, right? And then it's about taking the fat, burning it, turning it into energy. I take 3 pills a day, never have to worry about anything. I don't eat crazy. When I got out here, I put on like 15, 20 pounds because everything I was doing in the past just stopped. And guess what? Lean is helping me in a major way. Go to takelean.com. and save 20%. Use code Benson20. TakeLean.com, code Benson20 to save 20%. Yeah. I feel like I should jazz hands. Beacon Capital Management right there. Let me tell you about them. Local, great guys. I mean, salt of the earth. And it's a great way to sit down and talk to them about not only your finances. This is one of the things when you hear about Beacon and the Retirement Ready Toolkit, that covers your retirement. And we're talking about many people that forget that life goes on outside of just your investments, including taxes. And let's not forget estate planning, healthcare, long-term healthcare too, which is a big deal. It's good to sit down and talk with somebody, and the Retirement Ready Toolkit from Beacon is going to help you with all of those things. You call 615-488-9303 today. They'll get you out the Retirement Ready Toolkit. You're going to get a Money Enough for Life book, a retirement planning checklist, and a Maximizing Your Retirement Income white paper. It's no cost, no obligation, and no pressure. You have to think about all the other things, not just about the dollars and cents, which of course matter. And Beacon's going to help you with all of those things because that's what they do. Call them today. Get your free Retirement Ready Toolkit, 615-488-9303, or online at AskBeaconNow.com.
Another mass murderer learns his fate, and child seats being recalled for a choking hazard. These stories and more at 12:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
A lot of you chiming in when somebody said our two cars are $1,350 a month for used cars.
Wow.
That is crazy. Somebody said, Chad, try living on disability in this income. A fixed income right now, and with the tariffs and the worry, let me tell you something. And when I went out, and we talked about when I went out to that Tesla thing, the people that were older who were angry, because there was a lot more older people than young people, which I was surprised with. The fear of Social Security, the fear of some of their stuff, their disability stuff being messed with, and that's scary, because if you're in a position where you're on disability or you're on that fixed income and you're riding that edge, that's scary. That is absolutely, it is terrifying. And I get why people are scared. Now, it doesn't mean, when they say, oh, they're getting rid of this or they're getting rid of that, that doesn't mean that's actually going to happen. We all know a lot of that stuff is such baloney. But do I understand why people feel that way? Hell yes, I do. Because it's terrifying to think if something changes tomorrow, where something that you purchase normally has gone up by 5 or 10 or 20%, or you can't get it anymore and the alternative is way too expensive, you're having to make serious decisions that, again, goes back to the fear that so many people have about what's happening, because it's uncertainty right now in this economy. And when James Carville said it all those years ago, it's about the economy, stupid, he weren't lying. It's what it is. The bathroom talk about, certain things, and the transgender in the bathroom talks and sports and this, that, and the other. If you ain't paying your bills and you're struggling day to day and you're hiding your car, everybody's got a friend that's done that, or maybe you have. You're like, I parked my car across the street, they're never going to find it. Well, nowadays they got those electronic things on, so they will find it. Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, you can't hide it now.
Somebody says, we have a used truck and we pay, are you ready for this? $1,085 per month. I hope that's a work truck.
Goodness.
That's crazy. That is so crazy. And again, the cost of college. I mean, it's so expensive. And education now, I mean, we talked about YouTube. There's great ways to get education now, but it is just so ridiculously expensive. And it used to be, it's your first, usually many people, it's your first time away from home. It's a lot of those things, it's your 13th grade, if you will, and you're having fun and you're meeting new people. That's a lot of money to prolong your childhood. I mean, if somebody came to you today, right, like your son, Ken, who was 17, goes to a bank today and says, yeah, I'd like $200,000 loan. They'll be like, get the hell out of here. But if you go and they'll say, hey, I'd like a $200,000 loan because I'm going to go to a school and get some sort of degree, they'll be like, yeah, that's fine.
There you go.
I'd rather give them keys to a Ferrari.
And by the way, whenever we want it back, we'll tack on 25% interest.
Yeah. Okay, this guy, I have a 2024 GMC work. This 2,500. I pay $750 a month. That's not bad. Another person says you can refinance your car. Oh, you see? You know what else you see? Oh, everywhere those check cashing places.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, short of sending Tony over to break your legs, or people that are going and they've paid their car off, but they're so desperate, they flip their car.
Mm-hmm.
They get that pink slip loan. Man, that is just it is ugly out there. But we're going to fix it for you guys because something is for sale. And I'm pretty excited about it. We've been following it here, and the fact that it didn't go off the way that they thought is weird. But oddly enough, if I found out the price and it was worth it, I might take a run at it. Maybe we all pitch in and we do it. Oh, wait till you guys hear this story. It's going to be fun. We're going to talk a little bit about new media as well today, which I think is interesting. And tonight is the NFL draft. I think we know who the number one pick is going to be, and it's not me. Football, baby. It's at Lambeau Field. You got to think about what's
Lambeau Field.
Lambeau. It is football field, huh? That is. There's not many other places. Well, college, there's other places, but pro, Lambeau that is the place, the hollowed out of Lambeau Field. Talk about that. Bunch of other stuff straight ahead. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7.
$12:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Driver's got a crash blocking the right lane. This is going to be 40 eastbound right before 440, that is. Stop and go starts at White Bridge Pike and Briley Parkway. Then another one in Franklin. Got a crash, left 2 lanes blocked, 65 southbound at Murfreesboro Road. So a federal judge is temporarily blocking the Trump administration's push to end DEI in K-12 public schools. Another one declaring the Trump administration cannot withhold federal funding from sanctuary cities and states. And the Trump administration asking the Supreme Court to allow the transgender military ban to take effect for now. The shooter who opened fire at that 4th of July parade in Highland Park, Illinois in 2022 is heading to prison. Got his sentence this morning. Here's Alex Stone.
Will spend the rest of his life in prison with no chance for parole. In a courtroom full of victims and their family members, a judge giving Cremo 7 life sentences for each of the victims killed in the shooting and 50 more years for each person injured. Last month, Cremo changed his plea to guilty just before his trial was set to begin. He was absent from court this week as victims told the judge about the horrors they experienced at the parade when gunfire erupted. Alex Stone, EBC News.
Almost 180,000 first Grow and Go Sprint child seats are being recalled because of loose pieces in foam in the headrest that could be a choking hazard to children. This, according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. The agency saying the headrest foam pad is not adequately secured, allowing a child to pick off pieces of foam. You know what kids do? They put things in their mouths. There have been 13 no cases of a child who put that foam in their mouths. Owners of the child seats going to be mailed a letter on June 9th. The manufacturer will send a replacement headrest pad assembly kit free of charge. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
I want to talk to you guys about Byrna Technologies, and they're right here in Franklin. You can go see them. It is a great way, if you're a shooter and you like to go shoot, a lot of times that's super expensive, right? We're just talking about money. How about having something that is incredible? The Byrna launchers are awesome. They're compact, concealable. They are incredible. They're able to they're not deadly, but they're able to stop anybody. It is crazy how amazing they are. But the other great thing about this is it's a great way to practice. You can go to their facility right here in Franklin. They're open 7 days a week. And you can practice at a fraction of the cost with a feel just like you're going out shooting that is absolutely real, and it's incredible. You should check out everything about them. The great thing is you can carry them anywhere. You don't have to worry about them. The feel, the look is awesome. And yes, the cost as well. Check out Burner Technologies. You get free range with Burner Launcher. You can bring your CO2s. They can sell them to you right there. 10% off right now. You just mentioned that I sent you. Call 615-558-0534. 615-558-0534.
Did you know you're overpaying for your health and wellness products?
With over 20 company-owned brands offering its members vitamins, supplements, wellness, and skincare products, you're able to save up to 70% off retail.
Members Nutrition can't change your life, but we can change the way you live.
Guys, I know this is going to come a shock to you. Maybe not so much you, Mason, but Ken and Bell and I have been following this. Fyre Festival 2 is not going to happen, and he's put it up for sale.
What?
That's right, kids. Fyre Festival 2. So if you guys know Fyre Festival, the original one, which was amazing, in its absolute worst festival in the history of festivals, that was promoted by every major model and superstar, all this stuff, and it never happened. And Billy McFarland was the guy who put it together. He got arrested, spent time in prison, still owes $26 million.
Yeah, I think the documentary is still on Netflix.
Yeah,
Definitely worth a watch.
So, have you seen it?
I've watched most of it.
It's incredible.
It's
By the way, the guy, everybody could use a little bit of his confidence.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, we could all, especially today, kids are terrified of everything. Everybody needs a smidge of what he's got going on.
Yeah, the swindle behind that man.
But he's put it up for sale because it's not going to happen. And he's bummed. I know it's a shock to all of us. I was hoping to, but he's selling it. And people are like, well, who's going to buy it? And I'm like, dude, name recognition. If you own Fyre Festival and you were able to pull it off somewhere, you've got built-in name recognition.
Huge.
Brand, I don't care what anybody says. Brand name matters. If you bought Toys R Us today and you open up a store called Toys R Us, everybody knows. You're like, oh, I own Toys R Us. They know what that is.
Yeah.
What do you think you would pay for the name? That's the thing.
You think they'd take a $2 bill and a good chocolate bar?
I don't think so. Because I'm sitting there going, I wonder what they are asking for it. Because you're buying something that, while it could be a joke and could be a lot of things, let me tell you something. Lollapalooza flopped a couple times. They went away for several years and came back. It would be, I mean, you spend $1 million on that, and you're able to, because whoever buys it is serious about it.
Yeah.
They can put bands together. This guy never could.
Yeah, they could put bands together, and then people would show up because they want to go, okay.
They want the experience.
Is he going to flop this time?
And then I'd make him be a part of it as well, too.
Yeah.
Because he's just such a turd. Oh, my God. I was like, yes, it's for sale. Why is Trump 2028 trending? Why is that? That can't be real.
Somebody's probably filing legislation that a president can run for a third term.
Oh, God. Who is it? Is it Andy Ogles? Is Ogles at it again? He could do it a fourth time, too.
Look here, Michelle. Looks like I'm going to be able to run again.
Oh, good God. That is just, no, by the way, no. God bless him. Let him go off do his thing. He's got his two things. It's over. It's done with. Stop it. Everybody stop it. Stop it.
No.
It's
like you have the water bottle with the cat.
Oh, good God. Yesterday, I came across this. I found this interesting. So this was on CNN, but it was all the new media people. They were posting it everywhere. And the battle that's going on in the White House between old media and new media is hilarious. Here we go.
This is my first time in here.
Well, you're only probably with the most controversial White House correspondents.
And I'm actually really good at yelling because I used to be a ring announcer.
We're all biased, right? We just wear our bias, which I think is a pejorative term to begin with, on our sleeves.
I mean, there's no doubt about it. I'm pro-Trump. The questions I ask, in my opinion, are going to help highlight the good things that he's doing for America.
These are White House correspondents like you've never seen before. They're part of the Trump administration's push to bring so-called new media into the White House.
Which I am completely 100% about. Bring the new media, because new media matters. Old media is stale. It's dead. Nobody's paying attention to them anymore. They're just not. And new media is, well, it's exciting. It's new people. They're coming with a fresh idea. They're also coming in with their biases. You know exactly what they are. They're not pretending that they are something they are not, which, again, also refreshing. We know out there in the old establishment media who you are and what you're about. New media at least is going, yeah, we're not going to lie about who we are.
We have an individual in our new media seat today.
Cara Castronova is White House correspondent for Lindell TV.
Go to mypillow.com.
Yes, that Lindell.
Boys will be boys, and
the new media outlets have full access to the White House briefing room, where they ask questions like this.
Will you guys also consider releasing the president's fitness plan? He actually looks healthier than ever before. Is he working out with Bobby Kennedy? And is he eating less McDonald's?
I can confirm the president is in very good shape.
But that's genetics. And no, he's not working out with Bobby Kennedy. I think we can all agree that that's probably not happening. That's so funny. Is he working out with? No, he's not working out with Bobby Kennedy. And by the way, he's also not 225 pounds.
Right.
So if you guys believe that, boy, do I have some land. Would you like to buy the Fyre Festival from me?
Why don't you wear a suit? Why don't you wear a suit? You're the highest level in this country's office.
And the characterization that what you were doing, asking Zelensky that question, that you were trolling.
No, I'm not a troll. I never have been. That was a legitimate question that I just wanted to ask. It didn't mean to, get everyone fired up like they did.
Right now, the briefing room, the seats are, big networks up front. You're hoping that will be rearranged, that outlets like yourself might have a more prominent seat here?
Definitely. If it were up to me, I'd kick a lot of these outlets out. I view my role here more as sort of reporting on not so much the White House, but really the media.
Natalie Winters is White House correspondent for Steve Bannon's show War Room.
Our bias is not to be sycophants for President Trump. Our bias is for our audience, which is the working class of America, the people who want to put this country first.
If Trump messes up, will you guys call it out?
Yeah, and we have. I think time and time again, particularly on the vertical and issue of immigration, we are not for stapling green cards to diplomas.
And neither am I, but we're going to need that. We'll talk about that a little bit later, because brain draining other countries is also a good thing for us. long game. But here's the thing. I'm fine with new media, fine with old media. We do have to be honest with each other, though, that we need to call people to the carpet and hold people accountable. That includes our own side, which unfortunately both sides are terrified to do. Do you want to know when that happens? And everybody, and I was explaining on my show earlier today, and then I did a hit somewhere else because we were talking about this. Let me tell you when that happens. People build up their niche market, right? So whatever that market is, and whoever they're serving, it's their customers, right? So this is their fans, their customer base. Normally, you would tell them the information and allow them to make a decision. People nowadays, they want affirmation. They're not interested in information. And if it goes against their beliefs, they sure in the hell don't want to hear it because, unfortunately, everybody's wrapped themselves up in a belief system and have now made that their identity. It is when the fans, the customers, the listeners, the viewers, the readers, when they turn, it is then the person who is delivering that message, it's okay for them to go, okay, now I can tell you. Very rarely is somebody going to come out and say, nah, let me tell you what really happened. You should want people to hold leaders accountable. How many of you out there over the last, 20 years felt the same way I did? You're pissed because they wouldn't report stuff, not just about Joe, but going back a ways. I mean, you take away the talk radio in a few places, say 15 years ago, you wouldn't get a lot out there that was a pushback. Now, it's at least semi-balanced. But you do have to hold people accountable. And that's what I want from all media. Being able to look at somebody and go, no, that's not the truth. That's not the truth. You're not telling the truth. You're not being honest. And we need that. And I don't think we have it. Look, the new media is not going to call them out. They're going to pretend like they're going to. They're not going to call them out. Nobody there is going to call Trump out or anybody in the Trump administration out. Just like the only person to call out Biden for the most part or that White House was Ducey. Right? And that was a battle there. Same thing with Sam Rosen and a few others pre that with Obama. But you need to have people who are willing to hold people accountable everywhere. Just like you, like I always say, look at it this way. You hold your own accountable when it comes to your kids. As you should. And we should hold our own. Because that's the difference is it's not about, well, we're just going to be like, no, we're going to be better than them. We're going to tell the truth. We're going to be better than them. So I don't think any of these people are going to hold anybody accountable. But this was the part that I found interesting as they battled through this entire thing is the old media hates the new media. They hate the fact that they're there. They hate the fact that they're participating. And every administration, every politician, trust me, we're joking about Andy Ogleser. If he could have a place where they all praised him, he would love it. Everybody would like that. And take away politics, CEOs, athletes, all of them. They would all love that stuff. But this is what I liked at the end of this. It shows you this is a business. And for some, business is booming. And for others, ooh.
The chair of the White House Correspondents Association, a group that has represented White House reporters for more than a century, recently wrote, "For the public to get information it needs to understand and make decisions about the most powerful office in the world, it needs news produced by experienced professional journalists who ask tough questions and produce fair coverage."
Tough questions, fair coverage. The left-leaning media never did that. Oh, they would ask the tough question, but whatever question they asked, it didn't matter what the answer is. They already had the answer in mind that they were going to talk about and what their rebuttal was going to be. So I don't expect the Breitbarts of the world or Lindell's people to go in there and really hammer Trump with stuff. No, I don't expect any of that. Because that's not the game that anybody's playing. That's not what they're doing. They're about serving their customers. Their customers will lead them where they want to go. If the economy collapses tomorrow and the customers, the fans, the supporters, the readers, the followers, If they change their tune, then they, the other people will as well, the reporters. But it's about truth. I don't care right or left. I want the truth. I can handle the truth. My beliefs are strong enough in the stuff that I believe in that I can handle the truth. And if I'm wrong, then I want to know about it. I'm always amazed that people don't want to hear the truth because it's a weird thing where they think somehow it's a slap in their face. It's not. And that left-leaning media that's still out there, if they think they're unbiased, you and I both know that's BS. That's a horse crap amongst horse crap. New York Times, the other day we're talking about, on the same day that they're talking about, Robert Kennedy Jr. and fluoride and taking it out of the water and how this could be bad and this, that, and the other, they're also running a piece about how good it was they took fluoride out of this place in like Utah or somewhere. And for Trump in particular, this is the battle that goes on. And it's good that the new media is there because the new media is also taking a piece of that pie. The new media tonight, I'm actually sitting down with Chris Ruddy from Newsmax. Who owns Newsmax? I'm going to ask him first and foremost. So you're worth $1 billion now. You bought anything cool? Like,
how much folding money do you keep on you?
Yeah, you know what? Isn't that always a curious thing? Like, what you got on you, man? Like, you walking around, do you stop by and get out like $4 or $5 grand for a week just for cash, or
keeps a couple of 20s?
Yeah, one of those things.
Yeah, just in case.
But I'm going to ask him too because he started out as digital and then became more of the establishment on television. But I'm also going to ask him. You guys are big fans of Trump. You're a friend of Trump. Can you hold him accountable? Are you afraid to ask questions, or are you so afraid of your fans and your viewers that you wouldn't want to anger them, and it's only when they change their mind would you think about reporting on something? We'll talk about, because I think it's important that we have conversations like this. That's why I like, I love it when you guys text in stuff like this because you're like, okay, I can see that. And some of you who have hated me, you've also reached out and said, I don't hate you as much as I used to. Now I just have a little disdain for you. Coming up tonight, the #1 television show in America has a special tonight.
Andy Griffith Show?
That's right.
Let's go.
Talk about that straight ahead. It is the Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7. Prize Picks. Right now, the basketball playoffs are going on. Your chance right now to not only win 2,000 times your money with Prize Picks, but also chance to win a VIP trip for two to the championship. Ooh, yeah. Every time you play, you get registered to win. So what is Prize Picks? It's above, it's below, it's less, it's more. It's that simple. Picking a lineup isn't picking teams. It's picking your favorite players across all sports. One sport, it's up to you. So every time that you play, you get a chance to win the big VIP thing going out there. But on top of that, the first time you play and use my code CHAD when you download the app, you get $50 bonus right into your account the minute you play your first $5 lineup. So it looks like this. Let's just say tonight you're going to go, I think Luka Doncic is going to score more than 21.5 points. And then maybe you're going to go over and say hockey. I think Ovechkin, superstar, is going to score more than 1.5 goals. It's above, it's below, it's easy to play. And the first time you play, win or lose, you get $50 bonus right in your account when you play your first $5 lineup. What are you waiting for? Go download the app now. Prize Picks, use my code CHAD. Prize Picks, code CHAD. Prize Picks, run your game. Must be 21 and present in Tennessee. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-426-2537.
Drivers in Jolton got construction work slowing things down 24 eastbound just past New Hope Road. And it looks like some of the rain is starting to lift a little bit, but it's left us with a flood advisory for folks in southeast Davidson County, all of Williamson County. President Trump's condemning Russia's latest attack on Ukraine. And good news, gamers, if you've got an itch for the new Switch. Details coming up at 1 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
With the first pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans pick Bob. Oh, here comes Bob. What's Bob do? Nothing. No, Cam Ward's going to be the number one pick, I think. Don't you think?
Yes.
I mean, I would think it's at
for
this
all
point.
intents and purposes. I have not heard otherwise.
No, they really like him. I think he set the record for most touchdowns in college football, rushing and receiving.
Yes,
passing. He's a beast. He's got a shot of being something real. Then you got to work around him, which is important.
You got to block for him.
Yeah,
he can't be getting hit by the tackles the minute he gets the ball.
No.
He's got to have at least 3 seconds.
Yeah, because anybody does. By the way, I don't care how great you are. Tom Brady would not be great if he got sit on his ass every time and had no time to throw. It's just there's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
And you've got to be able to work around him. But you got that new stadium coming, and you're looking at it going, okay, next year, if he can grow a little bit, get to that new stadium where they've got a shot to make some noise, that's what you want. So they're going to be at Lambeau Field tonight, which is awesome.
Dude, do you think that Green Bay fans would be like just angry if they decided to put a dome on that thing?
Oh, absolutely. There are some things that you look at where, and it's weird too, because all of these teams, even in the cold, if they play outdoors, they have a dome that they practice in, which is, I find bizarre. Like Buffalo has a dome they practice in.
Yeah.
You know, all of them have these places that they practice in. And
Yeah.
I think they would be upset because I think part of the mystique is the cold,
Yes.
right? It's part of the fun of going out there and realizing, oh my God, we live in Wisconsin. This is awful.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see it happening in Buffalo either, man.
No,
I mean,
God,
it is
no.
just
They're building that new stadium, right?
in Buffalo.
Yeah. Is that going to be a dome?
I don't know. Let me look that up.
See, there's a part of the fun of the cold. I mean, that's part of your home field advantage, too. Because you're going to play Miami at one point in time if you're Buffalo, maybe for a playoff spot.
Nope. Open air stadium.
There you go.
They're going to have a canopy overhang.
Okay.
That'll protect the fans from the elements, but it's going to be natural grass surface, and it's going to be open top.
Yeah. See, I couldn't see the same thing in Chicago as well. You need that cold.
Yeah.
Although it doesn't matter where Chicago plays because they're awful. Always. Bears. I know I'm going to get
Bears.
The Bears. Going to get a text from a Bears fan. Coming up second hour, let's talk babies. We're handing out money, which is silly because we're not doing enough. We'll talk about that straight ahead. Chad Benson, Super Talk 99.7.
One o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. President Trump condemning Russia's latest attack on Ukraine in Kyiv, calling it very bad timing. Trump on social media calling the strikes unnecessary and writing to the Russian leader, quote, Vladimir, stop. 5,000 soldiers a week are dying. Let's get the peace deal done. Here's ABC News foreign correspondent Tom Sufi Burridge with more.
The commentary from the Kremlin in the last 24 hours has been very, very content. They've come out and said effectively the US administration is very much in line with their way of thinking, particularly on the issue of Crimea, that peninsula south of Ukraine, Ukrainian territory which was annexed by Russia 11 years ago. And now in this proposal, we understand, the US would recognize Crimea as being part of Russia. Volodymyr Zelensky within the last 24 hours saying he would not recognize recognize Crimea as being part of Russia. He can't do that. It's in Ukraine's constitution.
Federal judge has temporarily blocked the Trump administration's push to end DEI in K-12 public schools. Another federal judge declaring the Trump administration cannot withhold federal funding from sanctuary cities and states. And the Trump administration's asking the Supreme Court to allow the transgender military ban to take effect for now. The shooter who opened fire at a 4th of July parade in Highland Park, Illinois in 2022 is heading to prison for the rest of his life.
In a packed courtroom, family members of the victims told the judge about how much was taken away from them on July 4th of 2022 when Robert Crimo III opened fire at the 4th of July parade. Survivors spoke of the terror when gunfire erupted. Now the judge giving Crimo 7 life sentences for each of the victims killed and 50 more years for each person injured at the Highland Park parade shooting. Crimo was absent from court this week, but proceedings continued without him. Alex Stone, ABC News.
All right, gamers, pre-orders of the Nintendo Switch 2 have been so robust, they've actually clogged up and caused outages for major retail websites like Target, Best Buy, and Walmart this week. Pre-orders were initially scheduled on April 9th, but that got put on hold by Nintendo because of President Trump's tariffs on the Switch, which is made in China. Pre-orders went on as planned elsewhere in the world. After the president exempted electronics and paused some tariffs for 90 days, Nintendo has now gone forward, saying the price of the Switch 2 will stay the same or as planned, but accessory prices are going to go up because of those tariffs. And turning to sports, it's NFL draft time.
Former Miami quarterback Cam Ward expected to be selected by the Tennessee Titans. Ward finishing his D1 career with the most total touchdowns in college history. Up next on the clock is the Cleveland Browns. Colorado University's Heisman Trophy winner Travis Hunter expected to go there. The one-of-a-kind generational athlete known for playing both offense and defense, coached by Hall of Famer Deion Sanders.
That's Ike Jaichi reporting, and the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
I saw that Switch 2 crashed so many websites.
Oh,
Best
yeah.
Buy.
Oh, yeah.
All of them. All the major retailers. Target, Walmart.
Best Buy.
Crash.
It's funny, isn't it? Like we sit here and go, oh, yeah, this is really important. The next thing you know, it's like, what crashes some? Switch 2. Need the Switch 2.
Oh, give me that Switch 2.
Obviously, life isn't that bad. What are they going for?
I think they're at like $450.
What'd the first one
$500.
cost?
About the same.
Okay, it's not
About
too
the
bad.
same, yeah.
But the accessories, they say, are going to be higher.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the extra controllers, the extra chargers, any like games. Like they're charging $80 to $90 for games now on that.
Oh, damn. That
Because they're Nintendo exclusives. And so for some reason in their brains, that's, oh, well, if they're going to get a Nintendo game, they have to pay that because we're not charging anything else and we're the only distributors.
What does this one do? Do you have the first one? Because you're
I have
a
the
nerd.
first one, yeah.
So what's
a
this
little
one
nerdy.
going to do that one can't?
It's got better performance on it. So the unfortunate thing about this Switch is that it runs not as great as the current consoles that it's competing with the new Xbox, the PS5.
Okay.
It's not competing with those as well, but because it's Nintendo, everybody feels like they have to have the newest Nintendo product anyways. Okay. So I think it's just now hitting to be able to perform at 1080 or right under 4K.
Okay.
On its little portable device, which is kind of cool. Being able to take it on the road with you wherever you go.
Yeah, that's
I've
the one
used it
thing.
for
Like
traveling.
the Xbox, you're not plugging that in the back of your car.
Yeah, that's a little hard to
stuff.
travel with. So that's been a cool feature, but like it's connecting to your TV. When it connects to your TV, doesn't work that well.
Okay.
The games are awesome. I love them, but to pay $80.
Yeah.
for it?
What do you pay now? Like most games are like $59.99, right?
Yeah. I was like, at most I've seen people pay $70 for them. Like Xbox just released a new game, $50. If you want the extra DLC, extra stuff, another $10.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Or just do it like Fortnite does and go, here's the game for free, but it's microtransactions.
Yeah.
That's where the money's
They've
at.
made billions off of that.
That's where the money's at. Gamifying
goodness, yeah.
life, baby.
Yes, sir.
Gamifying life. Speaking of that, maybe we should do that with babies. The babies are free, but I know, it's funny because I was listening to Trump talk about the whole thing with babies, and it made me laugh because I'm sitting there going, I feel like somebody asked him a question. He goes, yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah,
That sounds like a good idea to me.
Yeah, okay. And the whole $5,000, which is just a random, it doesn't do anything for you in real life because, most of the people they're going to piss it away. It'd be a helper if somebody came and handed you $5,000, but, average cost of a child to raise a child right now, what, $420,000, something like that?
Yeah, easily.
So
I don't have kids.
And that's just for me because my kid plays hockey. That's like a year. Super excited he plays hockey too. Every time I'm like, dude, are you sure you just don't want to do anything else? Maybe my daughter would like to do, I don't know, Formula One. I don't know.
You got money well spent.
But we need to do something. And yesterday we touched on a little bit because I'm going to break down the numbers for you. And I don't think people realize what happens to cultures, societies, countries, states, when there is no more replenishing of folks. Now, for some people out there, like I think this is Mrs. Greer here. She is a Fordham professor, black culture, poli-sci kind of thing. It's always about white people.
But also, we can't ignore the racial element. This has a long-standing history in this country about who should be the dominant group. We know that the president has talked many times about his good genes and his eugenics, and we know that they want/need more white people in this country. This is what the mass deportations are about. We know that the way the rules are set up in this country, only white women can make white men. Only white women can make white babies. So if that's the case, you have to make sure you defund abortion. You have to make sure you make it illegal and criminal. You have to make sure that you make it as easy as possible for white women specifically to be able to have children, whether it's IVF or whatever it may be, because the idea is to get them back to 100 years ago when white people are the dominant group.
And apparently when she was also doing this hit, she was shuffling cards.
I was getting ready to say.
Multitasking, reading her favorite book while talking.
A book she wrote, oddly enough. It matters, and 5,000 isn't going to do it. We have yesterday we touched a bit about it, and I was walking downstairs, and one of my favorite people downstairs, She's one of our sales lady for the digital side, and she's 28. And she goes, I'd love to have a kid. She goes, what am I going to do with $5,000? Honestly. She goes, it sounds great, but the cost. First of all, we don't have childcare the way we need it done in this country. It's so damn expensive. We don't have the cost of just having the child. It can be astronomical. Trust me, I know from recent times. And you start adding up certain things and then having time off. It's important because your culture disappears. Not just the culture, but you start to struggle in ways that you cannot believe. And if we really care about tomorrow and our kids and we're worried about fixing the debt now and those kind of things, it is something that needs to be dealt with. Elon's like, this is the biggest problem we have in this country. As bad as our debt crisis is we're not replenishing. If it wasn't for illegal immigration and having kids here and legal immigrants having kids here, we would be at the lower end of the spectrum down near South Korea, which is scary. Now, let's take a look at that because these are what real numbers look like, people. No baloney here. We don't do that. That's the no spin zone. Really? No, it's not the no spin zone. We are above replacement's where we want to be. 2.1 kids above replacement. We're at 1.66. We're down near 1.3 without immigrants having kids here. So that's scary. That puts us at like 180-ish out of 200. If we, as a nation, were to start really seeing this go the way that it is and we don't fix it in some way, shape, or form, first thing, we are going to see the shrinkage of the workforce in ways you cannot believe. There'll be less innovation. And as the older workforce retires and they live longer than ever before, all of a sudden, it's become really top heavy. So we're having a very few people who have to basically carry the load for everybody. Oh, that's not good. Then if you're worried about immigration, well, guess what happens? You got to start opening up the doors because otherwise people are going to take all of their manufacturing, everything out here because you don't have enough workers. Then you get political unrest. Ooh, that's not good at all. And this has happened everywhere. Pension systems collapse. Immigration becomes more necessary. Innovation disappears and instability rises. Other countries are in a worse situation, but only because we have immigration and illegal immigration and legal immigration and they're having kids here, have we sustained our population and grew it a little bit. Birth rate, Japan, 1.26. By the end of this century, they're going to go from 128 million people to 70 million. That's not good. And they've already, since 1995, and the starting of this has already started moving in that direction, they've lost 13 million workers that they haven't replaced. 1 in 10 homes are vacant, ghost houses. Towns are disappearing. The economy is completely stagnant. And they don't have immigration like we do. And they're reluctant to because they're very, the nation that they've built themselves is very much a Japanese culture nation. They're going to lose 50% of the population, and their military capacity is going to disappear completely. South Korea, by the way, is the gold standard of, oh, my God, we're going to disappear. 52 million people now, by the end of this century, down to about 15 to 20. There's not going to be anything left. North Korea will take them over long before that, at the rate they're going. Elder care cost has exploded there. And they're super top heavy as far as their cost to take care of the elderly. And they do it in a much different way. You got to think about this for a second. Their culture is a culture like the Asian culture across the board is, and even to Latin countries is there is no sending grandma to the home. There isn't that, right? Like, all of us were like, we can't, your mom gets sick. You're like, you better, I told my mom, I'm going to roll you out in the middle of the street. And then people are going to like, this lady? Well, I've never seen her before in my life. It sounds like a joke, but we do that. We stick people away, and it's a horrible thing to do, but their culture isn't that way. But they're at a point now where they have no choice, but they have to work 2 jobs. China, get ready for this one, and that's why I talked about this. 1.4 billion won. That was the peak of their population, 2021. They're losing 2 million plus people a year, and that is growing and growing and growing. They're going to be down to 500 million people or less by the end of this century. And their fear of social unrest is going to be crazy. And get ready for this. Their elderly outnumber the young 2-1. What are countries doing? This is the issue. We're offering $5,000. Hungary, tax exemption for moms. So if you have 4 kids, you don't pay taxes ever again. Subsidized housing loans, interest-free loans for newlyweds. And if you get if you're married, you get an interest-free loan. And if you have your 3rd child, they forgive the loan. Oh, yeah. Singapore, cash bonuses for each child, subsidized childcare, parental leave policies, housing priorities. That's what they're focusing on. Japan and South Korea are doing everything they can, including potentially allowing people to come there and try to help with the reproduction. That's where Bell is today. He's not there. We're offering the $5,000, but that was just something that they threw out there, as Ken and I were joking about. It's important because we have a younger generation that, as I was talking to, telling you guys about the lady that works here, she's great. She's awesome. She's like one of those things, you'd be a great mom. That's what we need. And yet at the same time, she said her boyfriend or soon-to-be husband, they've got great job. They just got a house. But the affordability of trying to build their life, there's just no way they can afford a kid at this moment in time. And we've got to look at each child, not only as a precious child, but also as a corporation and what they're going to do for society and paying into it. And we subsidize all kinds of crap in this country. And we need to figure out a way to incentivize not just white kids, which is the dumbest thing in the world. That lady's insane. But children across the board. Because not only is it great for us and rebuilding our society and keeping it strong, it's great for the world and the freedoms in the world. But for the kids that are already out there, Ken's got kids, I got kids, their world's going to look way different if we start to fade away. So we better think about something in the way that we handle this. And I said I would make it so if you're having kids, you're not paying for your hospital bill. We got that covered. You're going to get 12 weeks off work. We'll cover that. We're going to help in any way, shape, or form because it's about building. We spend and waste enough money. We need to think about the future. If we're serious about it, this is what we need to do. We need to make it easier and try to get rid of those boundaries rather than make it so it's, good luck to you, right? Good luck to you. And then wonder why, it's already bad enough we don't have kids that don't want to date anymore, for God's sakes. What was that thing, Ken? Is it ladies 30 and 40? 40 having more kids now than 20-year-olds.
Yeah. First-time moms in their 40s for the first time ever outnumbered those in their 20s and teens.
Yeah. So, and it's, a lot of people like...
In their 40s.
Yeah. It's, 40s. Think about it. Because that's when they feel like they're at a point in their life where they can... Well, it's either do it now or never, but they can afford it.
Right.
And if we care about it, because here's the other alternative, guys. I hate to break it to you. If this doesn't happen, they're going to open the borders again at some point in time and say, well, we're going to make it a lot easier to get in this country legally or illegally because we're not going to have a society where we have workers, which is what we need to pay for the workers that are retiring and to fill the vacancies that are going to come from the Great Retirement. So we've got to figure something out. Talk a little bit more about this. Bunch of stuff going on. Trump's at the White House. He's talking to the Norwegian Prime Minister. Norway, man, that place is so diverse. Said nobody ever. Norway. I've been there. It's gorgeous, by the way. It's just stunning. We got a bunch of other wacky stuff to talk about, as well as, yes, Ken, I got some more crazy white women.
I love it. I'm all about it.
Yeah. Look, you like some crazy white women there, Mason? Liberal, crazy white women?
They make for interesting afternoons, for
Oh,
sure.
this lady's super crazy. And by the way, she's got influence on the left. That
Is she going to
tremendous.
talk
And
like
by the
this?
way, she's from Oklahoma.
Oh, hell, even better.
Oh, we'll talk about that. Bunch of other stuff straight ahead. Chad Benson, Super Talk 99.7. A lot of people out there worried about their investments. Don't. Talk to my buddy, Zach Abraham, Chief Investment Officer, Bulwark Capital. Let them show you what they can do for you. Bulwark Capital is unlike anybody else out there. They're active managers each and every day. They're looking always to strike when it's hot. Yes, they do things that are just so much different. It's a global outlook they have rather than just here in America, which I love. And they build something for you. They want to give you a second opinion. I like to call it a risk review, second opinion on what's going on in your portfolio. Let them take a look and show you what they can do for you. Their thing is lower risk, lower cost, lower volatility, give you the most upside potential. And that's why I love working with Zach. I said my family there, they're awesome. And I know they can do something great for you as well. Call them today, 866-779-RISK, 866-779-RISK, or check out everything they do online at knowyourriskradio.com, KNOW, yourriskradio.com today for Bulwark Capital. Investment advisory service offered through Trick Financial LLC and SEC registered investment advisor. Investment involve risk, not a guarantee. Past performance not guarantee future results. Check 24173.
Weather can change in an instant, and you need to be prepared for any outcome. That's why Generator Supercenter of Nashville will help keep your family safe and connected. We make buying a backup generator simple and easy, with financing options available, free in-home estimate, turnkey installations, no worry warranty, and most importantly, the monitoring and service of your fully installed generator. Come see us at our location in Nashville or visit us online. Generator Supercenter of Nashville. We serve all Middle Tennessee.
A federal judge says the Trump administration has to return someone else they deported to El Salvador. This story and more coming up at 1:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Man, so let me get this right. No to sanctuary cities.
Right.
Gotta still give them their money.
Yeah, got to give them their money.
And no to taking money away from colleges.
Right. Over DEI. Well, no, this is actually K through 12.
Oh, the K through 12.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. There's so many lawsuits out there.
I mean, dude, the judges today are, judges' orders are flying off the shelves, so to speak, today. I mean, they're left and right. I'm counting 5 right now. Federal judge decisions, and one just came down. Another one.
And this one was?
This one is blocking the administration's attempt to require proof of citizenship to register to vote.
Okay. Which is, again, bizarre. Right. Like, it's so weird because we're talking about the, what's that? Real ID, right? Which is stupid. Like, you have to take everything in the world to get a real ID. It's like, and it depends on the state. But, because some states actually, it is. My buddy went yesterday. My buddy Dave, he went yesterday. He's in Arizona. And he goes, man, he also lives kind of in the Valley of Dirt People. He goes, there was no line. I walked in. All they asked me for was my original birth certificate it had to have the raised stamp. And they didn't ask me for anything else. They didn't even ask me for like a piece of stuff, like that showed that you live there, like a water bill or something.
Yeah.
But other states are doing it differently. Kentucky, I read today, they're like, no, we can't get it. Sorry, guys. You guys are all stuck in Kentucky now.
They were interviewing people this morning who had taken off work. And they were turned away.
It is the hours and people are making bank. Have you seen the people that are charging up to $100 an hour to stand in line for you? And people are paying it. Because it's sometimes 3 hours just to get into the DMV. And that's even if you have an appointment, if you can get one, you get an appointment, you're like, okay, cool. And you go there and you're like, oh, that's the appointment line. I still have to stand in line? Yep. So it's easier, I think.
Yeah, there's a line to stand in line.
Just go get they're going to end. I would not be surprised if they kick it out a little while longer.
It's probably.
Because not all the states were prepared. So how can you punish somebody in Kentucky if you punish them because the state themselves not ready for it?
Well, and Kentucky, too. I've got to say, man, Kentucky has had a run of really bad weather for about 3 years running now, man. I mean, Kentucky has some of the worst weather I've ever seen. They get hammered by tornadoes, then they get hammered by ice storms, too.
See, somebody just texted me and said, all you need is your birth certificate and your current valid Tennessee driver's license. Another person said in Clarksville, Lisa, I'd take my marriage certificate, divorce papers, 2 bills with a name on it, driver's license.
Take it all just in case, man.
Yeah.
I'd take it all. Definitely better have that birth certificate.
8479 said, I have zero sympathy for folks who are finding it difficult to get their real ID now. It's been going on for years. It has, but you know what? Like when I was in California, they were not ready for it. I tried on several occasions to get it. They weren't. When I was in Arizona, they weren't ready for it. So no matter how many times I went there, they were like, no, we're not ready for it yet.
Yeah. Thanks for coming by, though.
Yeah. Somebody said, what's a real ID? Well, you're about to find out. Here's the difference between a real ID and the ID, because everybody thinks it's going to be something special. It's going to have a star on it. And that star says you're an American citizen, so you can now fly about the country. And I think it works in Canada and Mexico. I think right? Or that's if you get the extra, like the super real ID, which is stupid.
The super real ID,
Get
mega
a
plus.
damn passport. It covers everything. You never have to worry about anything again. You don't have to go anywhere. Just mail your crap in. If you've got to fly in the next couple of weeks, you call up and you go, look, I couldn't get my real ID. I can bring my and I don't have a passport, so I can bring my birth certificate. I can bring my marriage license. I can bring all that stuff. They'll still let you get on the plane, I think. It's an extra step or two, which is weird because why wouldn't they let you get on the damn plane anyways? You've been flying around. What happens on Saturday? People that were going to do something on a plane now or who haven't done it before go, okay, wait till this Saturday, then we're really going to do it.
Now we've got the star.
So ridiculous. So ridiculous. The requirement for real ID has been known about for years. Yeah, just because it's been known doesn't mean, hey, you know how everybody waits. I mean, come on. If we didn't wait, who? All these people did their homework the night before the big test. But at the same time, a lot of places aren't ready for it and still aren't ready for it.
I'm not ready for it.
No, I'm not either. At this point in time, damn it, I'm just going to drive. Coming up, I got some angry white woman from Oklahoma for Ken. This will piss a lot of you guys off. You'll love this. Straight ahead, Chad Benson, Super Talk 997.
1:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Parts of Nashville and Williamson County under a flood advisory. Getting some heavy rain right now here in Middle Tennessee. And just got a Fox News alert. Apparently, an experimental plane has crashed near Langley Air Force Base in Virginia. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. President Trump claims his administration is in trade talks with China, despite reports that China says, no, they're not.
They had a meeting this morning, so I can't tell you. It doesn't matter who they is. We may reveal it later, but they had meetings this morning, and we've been meeting with China.
Trump condemning the latest attack by Russia on Ukraine, writing on Truth Social, Vladimir, stop. 5,000 soldiers a week are dying. Let's get this peace deal done. This is what he told reporters this morning right before his lunch with Norway's prime minister.
We have a deadline, and after that, we're going to have a very much different attitude.
Over to the courts now, where a federal judge is ordering the Trump administration to facilitate the return of another person deported to El Salvador, a 20-year-old they say entered the U.S. as an unaccompanied minor. Another judge blocking proof of citizenship to register to vote. Federal judge temporarily blocking the Trump administration's push to end DEI in K-12 public schools. Another one declaring the Trump administration cannot withhold federal funding from sanctuary cities and states. And the Trump administration asking the Supreme Court to allow the transgender military ban to take effect for now. New Jersey officials say they have made an arrest in the origins of the Jones Road fire, which they now say has charred 15,000 acres there in Ocean County. A 19-year-old man, they say, set a bonfire with some wood pallets, then left without extinguishing them. Trevor Alt.
What we're hearing from fire crews is still a very active firefight and will likely continue for several days until they can get some soaking rain. For a time, this led to the evacuation of 3,000 people. Those evacuation orders have since been lifted, but we know that this wildfire destroyed a storage building for a business, and there are still some ongoing hotspots.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Guess what? Rain. It's nasty. You got that little crack here, little crack there. Worried about your foundation, crawl space. What's going on in the basement? You don't know. You don't want mold, and you don't want wood rot. But have you let it go too long? Call my buddies over at USS, United Structural Systems, 615-488-7855. They'll come out. They're going to give you a thorough inspection. They're not going to charge you anything for that, and they're not going to sell you anything that you don't need. But so many of us, we've been known in this country to be a little bit lazy. And you know what happens? You start putting stuff off, and those cracks become something they shouldn't. And then all of a sudden, you're looking at foundation, you're looking at the walls, you're looking at all that stuff that you didn't think you'd have to worry about, but now you have to. USS is there to help in a lickety-split. And it is awesome what they can do for you. Customer service second to none. The way they're going to treat you second to none. They have been in business 30 years, 30,000 happy customers. Call them today. Any worry whatsoever. 615-488-7855 or check them out online at USSTN.com. Your back, it hurts. Oh, God, you don't want to be that person. You're too young to be that person. How about this? Call my buddies over at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Dr. Ashley, Dr. Mitchell, they're experts. They've practiced all over the world. They've studied all over the world. They're about technology, the newest, the latest, and using a little fusion of the old and the new, but keeping you healthy and happy and getting you back out there. Because back pays, man, once the back goes south, that's just, ugh. So check it out right now. 47% off non-surgical spinal decompression. It's the big 47 offer going on right now in honor of the president. This is what I want you to do. Call them today, 615-246-5009. If you've tried everything and you're frustrated, try them because you haven't tried the best yet, and they're going to help you. First, when you come in, they give you a consultation, and they're going to build you a plan. They can take an x-ray, bring your MRI if they have to, and build you a plan that gets you up, moving, feeling better than you have in years. Wellness Institute of Nashville. Call them today. Tell them I send you 615-246-5009 or online at painisbad.com. Yeah. Hey, I stepped out. Is Ken you still there, brother? Did we lose Ken?
He's wandering. Wandering Weaver.
He does wander.
Yeah.
People are asking about. I didn't hear because I ran to the bathroom and got a drink about what was going on with the immigration one. So when he gets back, we'll hit him up on that. Plus, I got his favorite thing. A lot of you mad still about Real ID. People who didn't have the Real ID. By the way, you don't have to get one if you don't want one. Right.
No.
If you're just going to drive, you don't need one. Hey, Ken, what was the ruling on the immigration one?
They apparently say that there was a 20-year-old deported to El Salvador who apparently came here as an unaccompanied minor. That this judge says you got to facilitate the return.
Okay, so he's never coming back. He's probably
we don't know where El Salvador is.
Yes. I never even heard of it. You know what's interesting though? You and I still, Ken, we're like, okay, so let's just say because let's break down a few people to say that they didn't send people there that they should have would be a lie. Okay, so the gay hairdresser, he should not be there. And he shouldn't be there even if he's here illegally. He shouldn't be there in jail.
Not in a prison.
No. The soccer player from Venezuela who did nothing in El Salvador shouldn't be there in jail. I mean, no. So there are some questions about some of these things, and I get that people are like, no, get rid of everybody. Well, there's due process for a reason, and you do things for a reason because you measure once, twice, 3 times, 4 times if you can. So you cut once, and there's none of this stuff. And you're not spending all day in court fighting over stuff, which at times is ridiculous. So now there's a 20-year-old. How long was he here? Do we know? Did he have orders to be removed, or did he have a happy face tattoo?
That I don't know yet. I just saw the headline, man. So, yeah, I mean, the only thing I can think of is what the Trump administration is leaning on is this designating MS-13 as a foreign terrorist organization.
Well, you should at least have to be in it.
And that's the thing. Now, they're claiming with Abrego Garcia that a judge did determine that he was MS-13. So that means, he is a gang member, according to the Trump administration. But like we've said, either way, yes, he should be deported. He is illegal. He is illegally here. However, did he deserve to go to that prison? That's the thing.
Yeah,
okay, let him off in El Salvador. Definitely. Send him back to his home country.
But putting somebody there and going, all right, no due process there, and we're knowing this is going to happen. See, that's the other thing, guys. If you just let them off there and you didn't know what was going to happen, well, then, and they get picked up, that's one thing. We know they're going to that prison.
Right.
Because we've locked them up and we've sent them there and we understand. So it's about doing something right. And I know that pisses a lot of people off because everybody's like, just throw everybody out of here. No, you can't do that. You do it right, the right way.
It's what makes the United States unique.
Exactly.
Is we have, it's in our Constitution.
Yeah.
Due process. And, I agree with you. We should be doing this right. And what is happening with all these judges filing, I mean, maybe they are activist judges, but it's what our forefathers set up. This is how this country is set up.
And if they rule with you, and you know this, Ken, if they give me the ruling I like, well, that's what we wanted. If they didn't, well, then they're activist judges.
And that's
both sides use this. And both sides pick the judges they want.
Absolutely.
And for those of you guys who don't know, I hate to break the news to some of you, a vast majority of the judges over the last several years include mostly Trump judges, but they're still going to pick the ones they want. That's the reason that Trump flies everybody down to, or has them fly him down to Louisiana, because they know there are judges there that are going to give him the win he wants in this situation.
Is that the Fifth Circuit?
I think it is.
Yeah.
So it's judge shopping, and they judge shop for everything. It could be a parking ticket. If it's a federal offense, somebody will judge shop for it, which is frustrating. But this is what you said is so right. It's what separates us from everybody else. Treating people, whether people want to believe it or not, with due process. And like I say with the Embraco cat, you know what they should do? Fine, we're bringing him home. We talk to him. Fly him. The minute he gets off the plane, you take him into custody. You take him right over to the courthouse. You have another hearing. You put him on another plane and send him somewhere else. Watching the Democrats go, hey, aw. I'd pay for that.
And I mean, evidence has come out about Abrego Garcia that it indicates he is definitely a member of MS-13.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he had done anything to deserve to go to that prison.
No. And he's not coming back. And if he is, he's going to be here for a very limited time.
Yeah. And I mean, and here's the thing. If it's illegal to be a gang member in El Salvador and El Salvador says he's a gang member, then okay, well, he goes to some prison because he is in El Salvador now.
Yeah, he's there. And they're not. And we can't look. And this is the thing, as I try to tell my friends on the left, we can't compel them to give him to us. He's an El Salvadorian citizen.
Right.
So they can do whatever they want with him. The Venezuelans, I kind of have an issue with because I'm like, they didn't do anything in El Salvador. So that's a little, that's a little odd, but whatever. Do you think should we make the Crips a terrorist organization?
And make them stay in Compton.
They're all over, man.
They're all over, dude. Whenever I was a reporter in Tulsa, I was overnight in the 90s. The Crips and Bloods started landing in they were landing in St. Louis and Kansas City, and then they were spreading out from there. And I mean, man, my first overnight year reporting there in Tulsa, I went, of the 70 homicides that year, I went to 40 of them. And I mean, they were all gangbangers.
It's as a kid growing up, where I went to school, they fixed it so all of the schools would only have the gangs that were aligned with one another. So you didn't have Crips and Bloods in the same school. Mm-hmm. You didn't have the West Sides and the East Sides in the same school. So whoever aligned, the Latin gangs that would align with the Crips, they were there, and the Bloods over here with these guys over. It was crazy.
Oh, it was, man. I remember one homicide. I'll never forget this. Now, this was not overnight. This happened on a clear, blue sky, sunny Sunday at lunchtime, right after church. Homicide. These Bloods apparently took a Crip, shot him in the head, let him out in an affluent neighborhood in an intersection at like 12:30 on a Sunday afternoon. This dude is laying in the street. Detectives didn't cover him up because I don't think the detectives covered him up because they wanted the media to show it. They didn't show what I saw, which was blood running from this guy's head down into the storm drain.
Man.
And then his pager starts going off.
Pager, that's how old that is.
And a detective goes over.
Let's explain to everybody. For you, a little bit younger. We didn't have cell phones. So we had this little thing that would go on your belt, and it was called a pager. And it would beep because somebody wanted to get a hold of you. Then you had to call a service that would tell you who called for you, or some of the more trickier, cooler ones would actually have the number on there.
Yeah, that's what this one had.
Yeah, so there were two types of people that had the three types of people: lawyers, doctors, and drug dealers.
And reporters.
And reporters.
Yeah, and the homicide detective on the scene, he looks over at me and he says, "Here's our first clue."
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man. I mean, Tulsa was...
How bad? Like, because I remember, what was it, the 90s? They had that Bangin' in Little Rock. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
On HBO?
Oh, yeah.
All those Crips and Bloods and the explosion of those. And then, have you guys noticed over the last, 20 years, things slowly went away? And you know why? Cartels came in. Yeah. And the cartels came in and basically killed the ones who wouldn't participate and pay attention, because if you're in a gang and you've got a street here and a street there and you kind of run and these guys, this is a totally different world. And they came in and basically said, we'll eliminate all of you. And notice how it kind of got quiet, because they realized, okay, we've kind of met our match in this situation.
Well, and they say, my friends who are back in Tulsa, say that everything kind of quieted down. But then in like the mid to late, the early 2000s, it kind of came back, and police were saying it's because some of the guys they had put in prison were now getting out again.
Oh, yeah.
And trying to, reassert control of certain drug trade and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I could see that. Well, you come out, too. Some of these people come out and they think, well, I'm going to try to get my life straight. And then they come out, and then after several months of never getting a job because they're felons or they got some on the record, they feel like they're desperate. And the other side of it is, dude, this as much, man. Prisons, they're not for rehab. And these guys go to jail and they go to prison, and it's a finishing school, like some people said, for gangsters.
Yeah. Well, and some of the capos, if you will, are actually in there running things.
Shot callers. Are you a shot caller? No, I'm not. No. What's that movie? There's a movie that came out a few years ago that was called, I think it was called Shot Caller. And it was about a guy who goes to prison. He's drunk one night. He gets into an accident. He's like out on a double date with his wife. He's just a normal dude. He goes to prison, and he goes from being like the normal nerdy guy to he's a shot caller. He gets out of prison and he's all inked up. He's a badass, and it's a finishing school. It is. Coming up, I've got some great audio for Ken because I love him. And this one's special. Speaking of Tulsa, this is a big podcast.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and Tulsa, and these ladies are angry white women. It's going to piss all of you off, too. So remember, the hate goes to them, not me. We'll do that straight ahead. Chad Pets Just for Talk 987. Raycon, best earbuds around. The everyday earbuds from Raycon are incredible. Fit, feel, tons of colors and styles to choose from, and a great Mother's Day present. Moms, they want to have good earbuds. The everyday earbuds are awesome. First of all, 30-day happiness guarantee. 8 hours of talk time, 32 hours of battery life, multi-connectivity, which is amazing. And I love this part, fast charging. Every 10 minutes gives you 90 minutes of listening. But for moms, this is the thing they're going to love. Because as we all know, ladies, every once in a while, you need peace and quiet. And they deliver that active noise cancellation. So they're not going to break the bank. They're well under $100. You're not going to find anything close to this with the 30-day happiness guarantee. They're the everyday earbuds from Raycon. Get yours now. Save 20%. Go to buyraycon.com/Chad. That's buyraycon.com/Chad for the everyday earbuds, the best ones around from Raycon. Buyraycon.com/Chad.
All right, drivers, eastbound 24 in Jolton. You've got construction work backing you up there at New Hope Road. In Antioch, TDOT reporting a crash blocking the right lane. This is going to be 24 westbound. They're at Haywood Lane. And then in Hermitage, or rather at the Hermitage, got a crash. TDOT reporting the left shoulder block. That's going to be 40 westbound at Central Pike. A flurry of judges' orders against the Trump administration. We'll tell you about each one coming up at 2 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
So don't hate me. This is a podcast that's growing. It's two ladies from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Their names Jennifer Welch, Angie Pumps Sullivan. It would start out being kind of fun, kind of like it's called I've Had It. And I don't know if you've heard this podcast, but they hate MAGA.
I've had it with this idea that gets floated a lot in politics that we need to sit down and talk to the other side. Right. Like, do I really have to sit down and say, this is why I think dictatorships are bad, and get out history books? Are we there? And it just seems like the burden of this always falls on the left to go sit down with the dipshits and have regressive conversations. And I think we all have to draw boundaries and say, we're not talking to stupid. And you can hear them all say, oh, look, you're talking down to them. And I would say, you're goddamn right we are.
Yeah. She is. They are something else. And it is interesting because they're getting a lot of press. They were just on with The View the other day.
Really?
They had Rahm Emanuel on the other day, and they tore him a new one.
Really?
Over transgender issues, where he's like, look, the bathroom issue, I settled it a long time ago. It's time to move on. That's not what people care about. And they went off on him.
Wow.
I mean, basically, I thought he was going to hang up on, or, he was on like a Zoom call. I thought he was just going to just walk away. And I've got plenty more. Let's listen a little bit more. They're having fun.
I'm going to tell you one thing I've just really had it with.
By the way, they don't like white women either.
When you look at black women, 90-something% all voted one way. White women, nope. And I've had it with these white women that are just enablers to this patriarchal system, but then they act like they're cool boss bitches when they're peddling their multi-level marketing shit.
Wow. White women, you know who you are. They hate MAGA, though, on a level that is crazy.
These two ladies sound like they are miserable.
Yeah. In fact,
they don't like anything.
When they got into it with Rahm Emanuel, because they're like, well, everybody thinks because we live here, you hear our southern accents, and they think we're MAGA and we're pro this. No, we care about marginalized people, blah, 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 and Oklahoma this, Oklahoma that. And he says, you know what? If you guys are so miserable, U-Haul and move to a new state. That's what he said to him. Oh, they're not done.
If if you're not going to vote for women, then stay at home and be a trad wife. Otherwise, sit down and shut the and let the real boss bitches take over. It really pisses me off.
White women are a huge disappointment. The overwhelming majority are a huge disappointment.
Wow.
Man.
They are, and I'm getting a lot of, they did have a reality show. And it's funny because when they started this out, when they went to the guy that was running like the podcast company, they said, look, you guys should probably just stay away from politics. Because it's, once you get into politics, you alienate.
Mm-hmm.
And they just said, well, you're a white man, so you don't know anything. So now we have to talk about politics because you've never had to worry about it. And you're just like, okay, I give up. Have fun.
Can't say you didn't try.
No. Like it's politics ruins everything.
They are appealing to that far left, man.
It's always about marginalized people.
Yeah.
It is always. But I hate white women. You're a white woman.
Exactly.
Well, that's your badge of look how white I am. I'm not white. I'm marginalized like you. I'm a rich Southern girl.
Do you see the hate that Vince Vaughn is getting because he dared take a picture with Trump in the Oval Office?
So insane, man. It is just, people just settle the blank down, for God's sakes. Breathe. There you go. It's going to be fine. Coming up, hour 3 of the program. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7.
2 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Drivers through Jolton. This is getting to be quite the backup. 24 eastbound due to construction work there just past New Hope Road. In Antioch, got a crash. 24 westbound, Hickory Hollow Parkway. Then Capitol View, a crash. 40 eastbound at Church Street. And in Antioch, right lane block 24 westbound at Haywood Lane. TDOT says there's a crash there. TDOT says there's a crash on the left shoulder, but folks are slowing down around it. That's going to be 40 westbound near Central Pike. Full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Tell you it's going to be a wet one. A federal judge ordering the Trump administration to facilitate the return of another person deported to El Salvador, this time a 20-year-old who entered the U.S. as an unaccompanied minor, this judge says.
The judge is saying that the administration, by deporting this person, violated this previous court settlement. And it's fascinating because this is a Maryland judge, a different judge than in the Kilmar Abrego Garcia case. The judge in this case, the new one that we're discussing, is a Trump appointee. She ordered the government not to remove other individuals covered by this settlement, the 2019 settlement. So it does potentially tee up another court battle that the Trump administration will have to fight here.
That's Catherine Falders reporting. Another judge is blocking proof of citizenship to register to vote. Then there's one temporarily blocking the push to end DEI in K-12 public schools. And another one says the Trump administration cannot withhold federal funding from sanctuary cities and states. And then the Trump administration today asking the Supreme Court to allow the transgender military ban to take effect for now. The shooter who opened fire at that 4th of July parade in Highland Park, Illinois in 2022 is heading to prison for the rest of his life.
In a packed courtroom, family members of the victims told the judge about how much was taken away from them on July 4th of 2022 when Robert Crimo III opened fire at the 4th of July parade. Survivors spoke of the terror when gunfire erupted. Now the judge giving Crimo 7 life sentences for each of the victims killed and 50 more years for each person injured at the Highland Park parade shooting. Crimo was absent from court this week, but proceedings continued without him. Alex Stone, ABC News.
New Jersey officials saying the Jones Road wildfire could grow to be the state's largest in 20 years, burning in Ocean County since Tuesday. Firefighters say they're making progress. And now Trevor Ault on the scene there with word of an arrest.
Officials say they have now made an arrest in the origins of the Jones Road fire, which they now say has charred 15,000 acres. According to officials, law enforcement arrested a 19-year-old man who they say Tuesday morning set a bonfire, lit some wood pallets on fire, and then left the area while failing to extinguish them. And they say the remnants of that bonfire is what then spread.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Weather can change in an instant, and you need to be prepared for any outcome. That's why Generator Supercenter of Nashville will help keep your family safe and connected. We make buying a backup generator simple and easy, with financing options available, free in-home estimate, turnkey installations, no worry warranty, and most importantly, the monitoring and service of your fully installed generator. Come see us at our location in Nashville or visit us online. Generator Supercenter of Nashville. We serve all Middle Tennessee.
Thunderstruck indeed. Housing prices. You've been talking about that today. They've gone up big time here, Davidson County. And when you listen to the prices, it's funny. We talk about the cost of living. It's the most important thing, right? The economy, right? Like, because look over here. Poor Mason's filling in for Bell today. Mason lives with 47 people.
48.
48.
We picked up another one last
So you live with how many? You live with 3 brothers and?
3 brothers and 2 friends.
How many rooms?
I'm the third brother, so it's 5 of us
5
total.
of you. How many rooms?
We all have our own room, which is really nice. It's 4 bedrooms upstairs and 1 master bedroom. And so we've split up the rent kind of associated with like who's got the smaller bedroom, and then the master is paying a little more, but overall kind of a base layout.
How many bathrooms?
We have 2 upstairs that are shared by one of them's Jack and Jill, and then one of them is just in the hallway where the other guys go to. And then we have a half bath downstairs, which is just a toilet and sink, and then we have the master bathroom.
All right. See, so I mean, it's
not terrible, but we're each paying about $850 a month
for like a little place, just a smidge.
Yeah.
When I was 19, I paid $750 a month for an entire house.
I know. When you look at the numbers and we're talking about the cost of living and how expensive, even having babies and things like this. There's a great meme out there. It's like, it shows these people that are dancing, and it's like, these are your parents because they bought their $4 million home when it was $1.50.
Yeah.
But instead of giving them cash, they gave them strawberries, and it's like the frustration level from a younger generation, because they're coming out of college with a house payment.
Yes. Built-in mortgage. Right off the bat.
That we're telling them they have to go to school because this is the only way you're going to get ahead. Take out these massive loans that the government continues to back them up and say, so if you tell me you're going to guarantee these loans, then you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to raise the prices until you tell me I can't. There you go. And it's crazy. I mean, built-in mortgage, it's the cost of a car, like new cars, what, $50,000?
Yeah.
So with where rates are, average payments $750. Many of you were chiming in earlier, talking about the fact that your payments. Some of your payments are $1,000. And yes, we do get those people. I paid cash for mine. Okay, settle down, Dave Ramsey. Better than I deserve. You ever had anybody go through that?
Mm-mm.
I had a friend, Martha, who, the station I'm still on in Phoenix, and I was on for doing the afternoon show for a long time. Her and her husband did it. And they bought their house when it was still Arizona, and after not too far after the collapse. And they paid everything off, though, in about 2.5 years. And they both had decent jobs. And he quit his job like 6 months ago because I don't have to work anymore. So I'm going to take some time for myself. And they did it. But, man, could you imagine today, people like, well, because you always get that old wisdom, you never should pay for anything you can't afford. Okay, go buy a house. How long is it going to take you to save? Because think about this. If you said, I'm going to go buy a house, but I'm going to save money and pay cash. Okay, let's say the house is $400,000 now. It's going to take you 20 years. It'll be $1 million. You'll always be chasing it.
Right.
Yeah, I don't want to be renting the rest of my life.
No.
It's terrifying. Yeah.
It's, and I feel for a younger generation that we have, because it kind of started with our generation, Ken, where it was like remember, because before, not everybody went to college.
No.
And then it was like, you got to go to college. You got to go take that SAT. I'm like, no, I don't, because I'm going to Europe.
Yeah. I mean, that in the 80s.
Yes, that explosion.
Everybody you got to go to college. You got to go to college. You got to go to college.
But when you went to college,
not made for college, man.
When you went to college, it wasn't too much more. It was like junior college price.
Yeah, it was a lot more affordable.
Because you'll get people that go, well, I went to school I graduated in 1991 and I paid for my college. It was $12,000 for 4 years.
Yeah,
that was for half a semester.
Yeah,
me.
now that's not even the food card.
No,
you're not living on campus. You're not living off campus. You're living in a bush.
Yeah.
So
I'm living in my rundown car.
It's crazy. I mean, And I feel for a younger generation because, as we talked about to start the show, what matters is the economy for every one of us, whether you're on a fixed income, whether you're in retirement, whether you're in the middle of it all, wondering if you're going to be able to make it through the week. And are you going to rob Peter to pay Paul? Do you have enough on this card? As comparatively to this card, are you going to have to use 2 cards, put $25 on this and put $47 on that, and I can pay for my groceries? That's a tough way. Somebody said, I am 40 and I will more than likely never own my home. The 40-year mortgage. They're doing that with car payments too. Have you seen that? They're extending them out to like 7, 8, 9 years.
Wow.
Jeez. That's insane. It's so expensive. Life is expensive. And the economy matters. That's why people are looking at Trump. And if he doesn't get immigration right, which he did, at least stopping the border, the battle of deportation stuff, that's going to go on and on the whole time. But, okay, that's good. Ukraine, who knows what's going to happen there. Israel, good luck. But if you don't get the economy right, you can get all the other stuff right. Nobody's going to care.
Yep.
Nobody's going to care. They're not. They're not. People who care about those things, that's it. Those people sit around all day and they watch TV and they probably are doing okay for themselves. And they're not worried about their next meal. They're not working 3 jobs. They might even be retired to sit around and watch MSNBC or Fox all day. And they don't worry about that other stuff. But if you fail the economy, not just you, too. I mean, Trump's going to see all of his homies thrown out fast in the midterms and make his last 2 years a nightmare if he doesn't get it right. And I know there's a battle going on with China. I don't know what that looks like because I couldn't tell you. They're having conversations, although China's like, we're having no conversation. Trump's like, oh, we're having them. I'm like, well, what's real? No, we've had him. Did you? They said no. No, we did.
I mean, I believe on this one, I don't trust anybody. I definitely don't trust China.
No, God, no.
Because it's like what you've talked about before. She has got to look, he has to look like to his country that he's the one in charge.
Of course. He's got more to lose. If Trump loses, they throw his ass out. He's already done, but he's out, in 3.5 years. He moves on with his life. If Xi loses, he loses his head.
Yeah.
Is the fear. Nobody's marching to take Trump and put him in the gallows. Thank God. We don't do that. But Xi's got a different thing that he's playing with. But he's a Maoist. And you know what? I'm a little curious about what you're doing with these tariffs because I don't believe China's our friend. I don't want to deal with them anymore. And while we're a consumer-based nation, I would be dealing with every country in the world. I sure wouldn't be putting tariffs on all of our friends to try to force them to deal with us. Because if you really believe that China is all the things, and I do, before Xi, that guy was much more, we're cool. We're all good. Yeah, we'll give him some more freedoms even talking. But once Xi got in there, he's a Maoist. This is a guy who follows Mao essentially to the T outside of the capitalistic side, which they've allowed in. And in doing so, this is a guy whose parents, his dad was arrested and died in prison because of Mao. And he doesn't care. He's devout. This is what he's all about. So if you really believe all those things, then you go whole hog at China and you don't give in because all they're going to do is take our money that we give them and they'll figure out a way to subsidize it to keep the prices low in some ways. And we'll still make things there. We'll still buy things from there, which, whether you like it or not, sometimes that's the only place you can get the stuff you need. And they're going to still be able to take that money and use it to do all the things they want to do. They're not interested in being a co-superpower. They want to be the power. So I don't know what's going on with China. China,
China?
You know. So, yeah, somebody said, dude, our so-called friends are tariffing us. Yeah, but that was us. We've allowed some of those things to go on for years. We never asked to have it changed. We haven't. But, you know, like my favorite one that everybody brings up, well, Canada charges us X amount for dairy and milk and stuff like that. Yeah, but they've never charged us that. No, they have. That's it. No, they only charge us that if we export so much that it goes above a certain threshold, then anything above that gets charged that. It's a global economy. We need to find out who our friends are, who people we can align with somewhat, that's in both best interests, maybe not pals, we don't see eye to eye, but it's better than China. And we need to be, you know, we need to pick a path because uncertainty isn't a great path. And if we're this serious, because I know that Trump met with, who'd he met with? Target, Walmart leaders.
All the big ones.
And they basically said, dude, you're heading towards a recession. And it's not going to be a little recession either. And so that's when you have to make this decision. And the decision is if we're going to blink at China, I'm not, you know, then what were we doing all along? That's, I mean, he met with all the big ones, and there's a fear there. And I get it. I get the politics of it all. Because it's about the economy. And he knows he's not out in 2 years. But could you imagine if he loses the House and the Senate, what the last 2 years of his life is going to be, presidential life would be like? Just investigation after investigation. I mean, Adam Dip Schiff is just licking his chops with his beady eyes and his thin neck.
Nothing will happen. That will be the only thing going on.
No, I don't think. I think the only thing that'll go on is investigations.
Bingo.
So, and we don't want that. I want Trump to succeed, but I think we need to pick a path and keep it steady. And if the goal was to push us into a recession and make them drop rates so you could refinance our debt, okay, maybe. Can you refinance that? And the service of the debt, our debt as a nation, that'd be great. But that feels like there's a lot of moving parts that we're counting on that you can't control, including the Fed. And stop calling him an idiot and a loser. Well, he is a loser. Okay, I get it. But at some point in time, I'm waiting for him to go, I'll meet you behind the White House. Let's do this. I know you are, but what am I? Oh, Powell is the most boring person in the world, though, isn't he?
Who?
Chair Powell.
Oh, Jerome Powell, yeah.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Jerome. With the thing that are going on, I would like to tell everybody. I mean, it's not like you want somebody out there going, what's happening? I'm not going to drop rates this time. That would be awesome. Comes out with a gong. Boom. We gonna drop these rates down to the ground.
Pulls an Elon Musk and fires up a chainsaw.
Oh, kids. We would at least be entertaining if we ran the White House. Coming up, talk a little bit about home prices here in Nashville and just in the surrounding areas. And they've gone up because taxes are going to be due. Boy, everybody's going to find out in December. They got new taxes next year. Woo! Talk about that. Bunch of other stuff straight ahead. Chad Benson Show. Super Talk 99.7. Rough Greens, RUFF Greens.com/Chad. Use code Chad. Get a Jumpstart trial bag of Rough Greens for free. It's not going to cost you anything but a little bit of shipping. And they're going to send you out a $20 value bag. And you put Rough Greens to test. Take the 90-day challenge. In 90 days, you're going to see your dog, especially your dog's a little bit older, go from maybe struggling with aches and pains in their joints, maybe issues with their immunity, their fur, to having a whole new dog. It's incredible. You're going to see their fur, their energy level change. It's going to be so much better for them. The immunity is going to change. The heart health is going to change. It's awesome. And it only takes 90 days to see a change that is going to make you think, whoa. That's all you got to do? Just 1 scoop a day. Try a Jumpstart trial bag of rough greens for free today. Put them to the test. They're going to send you out a $20 value bag. It's absolutely free. You just cover the cost of shipping. roughgreens.com/Chad. ruffgreens.com/Chad.
Another federal judge in Maryland ordering the Trump administration to return another person deported to El Salvador. This story and more at 2:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Another person? Was this guy El Salvadorian? Do we know?
Have not seen yet.
He's Canadian.
Swedish.
Good. I'm glad we got rid of the Canadians. It's about time. Canada. Man, that whole, if you guys aren't paying attention, they're getting ready to have their election. You want to see the influence that Trump has had? That dude, the conservative guy, I always screw up his name. What's the name? Polyev? Is that his name?
Where?
In Canada.
Oh, I didn't know they had any conservatives up there, man.
What's his name?
Some guy, he's called the Canadian Trump, is all I know.
Yeah. And again, he's not really Trump-like, but he went from having a massive lead, and because, and everybody points to it. I was watching Evan Peterson say, the Trump effect, it switched in a heartbeat because of the way Trump went after Canada and all that stuff. And then, of course, he's got to come out and he's got to answer, no, we're not going to be a state. It was amazing. Like, imagine that. He's ruined that state. Oh, my Lord. F these damn federal judges. Guess what? That federal judge, that was a Trump appointee.
Yep. 2019.
Uh-huh. Well, that was different, though. It was before the deep state got to him. What's the deep state offering? Does anybody know? What do they give him? What do you get?
It was a 10-piece combo.
Was it a 10-piece combo? That's $400 now.
Yeah.
You ever watch old commercials and it's like, hey, for 99 cents, I got 12 Big Macs and 9 French fries.
Yeah.
Now for 99 cents, they threw me out.
They threw me out, and I still had to mortgage my car.
I got a cup of ice.
It wasn't even a large. It was a small.
Do you, in Arizona, because I've been here in the summer, do you guys, so in Arizona, if somebody comes in, because of how hot it is, somebody's homeless, you have to give them a small cup of water if they ask for it.
I don't know if that's the case here.
Not like you don't go to a hair salon. I'm just talking if you go to McDonald's.
Yeah. I don't know if it's required, but I've seen a lot of places do it. Just to be like, oh yeah. Here's a cup of water just to be nice.
Man, I tell you, how hot it gets out there on the asphalt when I'm out there, and when I was out there, we go to. Because I did a big thing about this place they called The Zone, this homeless shelters. We're getting ready to talk about homeless coming up in a minute. But people would do fentanyl and they would pass out and they're just laying in the middle of the street. And it's like 150, 200 degrees and they're waking up with third-degree burns on their body.
Yeah, they're cooking. You literally cook in Arizona.
Yeah. It's a couple years ago, we had I think it was 30-some days in a row of 120 plus. And so my on-air partner at the time, he goes, hey, let's do something fun. We'll send you out to the car. See, and they gave me a little thing. See if you can even spend 10 minutes in there. And I did. But it's like 200 degrees on the dashboard.
Yeah.
It's insane. It is. And I'm waiting for the humidity here. I'm okay with that. You know what humidity does? First of all, I don't have to worry about my hair because I shave my head. But, man, my skin is always beautiful in the humidity.
That's a good thing about humidity.
That is the good thing. Not a lot else, but that is one of them. No doubt about that.
Oh, it gets thick.
Yeah.
It gets real thick.
The deep state, a.k.a. Clinton, if they threaten me, I take it pretty serious. Well, who have they threatened? Did they threaten this guy? The judge? I don't think they threatened the judge. You know,
this latest judge?
Yeah. Sometimes, you get called out because you didn't do the things you were supposed to. And I'm not blaming Trump because I don't know Trump's not handling these cases, by the way. Trump's not picking them out like he's going to a pet store, going, okay, get rid of that one, and we'll get rid of that one. No, it's not. And, how they file, that comes to the administration. Everybody blames Trump. I'm sure he's not thrilled by some of the stuff that's going on and the way they've handled it, which is... welcome to the world we live in, though. But your name's on the administration. It's not the everybody else administration. It's the Trump administration. But not every judge, not everything that goes against you is some sort of deep conspiracy. Sometimes it's like, we should have measured twice. We'll just tape it back together. Goodness me. Coming up, talk a little bit about the homeless. A lot of you talking about how hot it gets here, and. Got some of your text message, too. Some of them nice, some of them awful. Somebody said, just wait till you have Arizona temps with Tennessee humidity. How hot? What's the, 90? Do we get to 100?
Yeah, we'll have some days where we'll break the century mark. Yeah. That usually starts happening in July and August.
Yeah.
Now, in August, we start having monsoons. Like every day... There is an isolated thunderstorm every day in August.
And it's never the same time, too.
Yeah.
It could be right in the morning and destroy traffic, or it could be in the afternoon and destroy traffic.
Our monsoon season when I was in Arizona would start about June, go from late May through August and September, but it was the same time. 6 or 7 o'clock at night, the monsoons would hit. It was you never got one in the daytime.
Yeah. Well, these will be, they'll be in the afternoon. And what's interesting is sometimes they will just form right above you. Just all of a sudden, it clouds up and boom, it starts pouring rain on you.
It's going to mess up.
Sometimes even the sun's still out through most of it. It's just pouring rain. It's like,
and let me tell you something,
I don't see clouds up there.
On those days when it's 100 and you get a little shower like that and then that sun comes back up,
it's
boiling.
Steamy is, I think, what you're looking for. A lot of stuff still to squeeze into. I got some of your text messages as well. If you miss any of the show, grab the podcast. We got a podcast. You can go grab that. Also, like and subscribe on the YouTube. If you're there, make sure you go and subscribe. You can check out my YouTube, Chad Benson Show, as well. And we're on Twitch. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We're not quite on, what was the other one we're going to be on soon?
Rumble?
We're not rumbling it yet, but soon, kids. Soon. It's Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7.
2:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast in 5 minutes. Federal judge ordering the Trump administration to facilitate the return of deported 20-year-old who entered the U.S. as an unaccompanied minor. This is ABC News senior reporter Catherine Falders.
The judge the this case, the new one that we're discussing, is a Trump appointee. She ordered the government not to remove other individuals covered by this settlement, the 2019 settlement. So it does potentially tee up another court battle that the Trump administration will have to fight here.
Yeah, so this Trump-appointed judge is U.S. District Judge Stephanie Gallagher in Maryland, appointed by Trump in 2019. Several judges issuing rulings today against the Trump administration. One blocks proof of citizenship to register to vote. Another one blocks the push to end DEI in K-12 public schools. Then another one says Trump cannot withhold federal funding from sanctuary cities and states. And then you've got the Trump administration today asking the Supreme Court to allow the transgender military ban to take effect for now. The shooter who opened fire at a 4th of July parade in Highland Park, Illinois in 2022 is heading to prison. He received his sentence this morning. Here's Alex Stone.
Robert Crimo III will spend the rest of his life in prison with no chance for parole. In a courtroom full of victims and their family members, a judge giving Crimo 7 life sentences for each of the victims killed in the shooting and 50 more years for each person injured. Last month, Crimo changed his plea to guilty just before his trial was set to begin. He was absent from court this week as victims told the judge about the horrors they experienced at the parade when gunfire erupted. Alex Stone, ABC News.
Almost 180,000 first Grow and Go Sprint child seats being recalled because of loose pieces in foam in the headrest that could be a choking hazard to children. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, the agency saying the headset foam pad not adequately secured, allowing a child to pick off pieces of foam. And there have been 13 known cases of a child putting that foam in their mouth. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Busy bee, getting busy. HVAC? Yeah, baby. What about plumbing? Oh, they got it all. Spring, here. Hey, check this out. They got spring cleaning going on. Deals galore and so much more with Busy Bee. But first, you know what I talk about. You got to join the Beehive Club. It's important. The deals are there. The fact is, you want that because not only are you saving, but you get put to the front of the line just in case times are really busy, especially as we were just talking about how hot it's going to get. Because you know, everybody's AC seems to go out at the same time. When it gets super hot, you don't want to be waiting for days with that gross feeling. Let Busy Bee help you with that. They've got all kinds of great deals going on right now, including their Spring Breathe Easy, Drain Detox, Toilet Tune-Up, Wash Away Water. Hey, all of those things. Book now. Get a free, when you enter to win, a free professional house cleaning as well. And join the Beehive Club with my friends over there at Busy Bee. Call 775-7833, 775-7833, or visit busyvhvac.com.
Birch Gold. Kids, let me tell you something about gold. It's important. It is important to have an asset like gold, something that has been around forever and a day, something that is tangible, something you can hold, and something that gives you a protection in the event that stuff goes sideways. And with all the uncertainty, all the unrest, bricks, let's not forget about what's going on there. It's a smart play right now. I want you to text the word Benson to 989898 today for Birch Gold. They're going to get you out an info kit, talk to you about why it's important to have gold as part of a diversified portfolio of stuff. And gold is that asset that's been around forever and a day, and it's not going anywhere. If you've always been curious about it, or maybe you said, I've had it before, it's about time I look at it again, go with my people. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. Text the word Benson right now to 989898 today for my good friends over at Birch Gold. Somebody said, how hot is it here, Chad? Swamp ass hot.
That's right. There is a lot of swamp ass that starts going around. Got to watch out for that swamp ass.
What did you say when it was the snow, when the snow was coming and stuff? Your daughter just goes, what's the weather like? It's ass.
Yes. Straight ass, Dad.
That's it. It ain't getting any better than this, kids. It ain't going to get any better than this. Oh, my Lord. Well, I can't wait for that. It's going to be neat. I like that. It's going to be neat. Little swamp ass.
That's one way to describe it. Yeah. Neat.
Hey, that's neat. I'm gross.
I just took a shower and I stepped outside and did another one. That's crazy.
I remember the first time I got, coming from Southern California as a kid, you've never really been in humidity. A rain comes and you get a little humidity. And it's a little humid-ish, but it's a cool. It's never anything more than 70.
Right.
First time I went to Arizona, I walked outside and it was like I just turned around and my family was still inside the airport, and I looked at them and I thought, sweet mother of God, what are we doing here? This is disgusting. There was nothing about this that's fun.
Yeah, my dad used to brag about growing up in San Diego, not having to worry about humidity like this. And I was like, why didn't you let us stay there? And
Yeah.
I mean, obviously now I see their economy is crashing, but I miss the weather. We went and visited once, and I was like, oh, this is really nice.
See,
can we bring that here, please?
I liked the weather in New Mexico. In New
I've heard
Mexico
it's
didn't
great.
it never got as hot as Arizona. I
No.
mean, we'd get hot, but in the evening, once the sun got down to a certain level, man, without any humidity, you could count on Albuquerque, New Mexico being in the low 80s to upper 70s every evening. Just beautiful.
That sounds perfect.
So Arizona would do this. It would like last week, it was a couple days, it was like 100 degrees already.
Oh, yeah, already.
So, but what happens is, and everybody's like, you have like 9 months where it sucks there. I'm like, no, we have 3 months where it's extremely hot, but only 6 of those weeks is it just truly unbearable, where you go outside and it's 3 a.m. because I drive to work at 2 in the morning to do my morning show, and you would look outside and there's hundreds of people running because you can't run in the daytime.
Oh, no.
And by the way, for the most part, all of the construction people start at like 3 in the morning, even for residential in certain areas, and they finish at noon.
Yeah.
Because you just can't be outside. But it'll be a situation where it would be 110, 115 in the day, but by 7 o'clock, once the sun went down, it dropped to like 80. And you're like, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
And then you get to the point where it's 122 and the overnight low's 110. And you're like, this is gross.
Yeah, I remember my last my last year in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I remember I worked like afternoon evenings, and I would get off at 10, 11 o'clock at night. And I remember in August, it still being 98 degrees with like 50% humidity.
Wow.
At 11 o'clock at night.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
Oklahoma gets extremely hot, but it's extremely humid, too.
I'm getting spammed by my father saying, hey, I wasn't bragging about California. I was just complaining about the humidity here.
But see, it'll do that here too. I mean, you'll get late into the night here too, where it'll still be in the 90s.
Oh, absolutely.
People are like, Gold Bond's going to be your best friend.
That's a perfect cure for the swamp ass.
That's it.
Gold Bond and loose cargo
I was
shorts.
talking to Matt about this golfing, and Matt's like, this is what you do. You just wear all black and you go out and you don't care. And I'm like, I can do that. Because in the summer in Arizona, I loved it. I was weirdo. I'd go out and play all the courses that cost $270, $300, $400 during the winter. I'm paying $20 and playing 5 balls at once. I'm the only weirdo out there. Right? It's just the best. And he's like, oh, you'll get that in the summer here, man. He goes, come July. He goes, nobody plays after like noon. I said, I'll be there, baby. I will. By the way, what was that transgender thing? They're asking them to get him out of the military?
Trump administration is asking the Supreme Court for a ruling right now to allow the military transgender ban to take effect, at least for now.
No, I wouldn't. In fact, I would say, here's the deal. Guys and gals, mostly gals. There are guys and gals, whatever. All of you are going to be our fighting force because you guys coming over, right, the mountain as you get ready to take off, and there's a whole bunch of people who are trans just running at people. Imagine that. Like, these guys here, they cut wiener off. They're dangerous.
They fear nothing.
They fear no things. Cut wiener off. That's crazy. Put breast on self. Oh, Chad. Yeah, lots of monkey butt.
Monkey butt. I've never heard of monkey butt.
I haven't either.
It's a good name for a band. That should be my rap name.
I got to look up monkey butt.
Monkey. Oh, speaking of rappers, what do you
Careful,
think?
Ken.
Did you guys hear about this? I think you guys, I'm all for it. Governor Lee needs to sign it. Oh, you need to turn
Country music star Jelly Roll, the Tennessee Parole Board, recommending that the Grammy-nominated musician's criminal record be cleared. Eva Pilgrim is here with the details of that. Good morning, Eva.
Good morning, Michael. From troublemaker to hitmaker, Jelly Roll's life story has been an inspiration to so many. He's been fighting for a pardon for his previous criminal mistakes, hoping to take his message global.
I am not okay. I'm barely getting by.
This morning, Grammy-nominated country music singer Jelly Roll closer to potentially winning a pardon for crimes he committed before becoming a star.
I absolutely love Jelly Roll, by the way. I think he's awesome. Jelly, if you're listening, you the man. Actually, he's out. He's out right now because Coachella happens for 2 weeks, and then the following week is their big country music festival.
Yeah.
And it's only one weekend. And my buddy who's a cop says it's the worst weekend of the year. You can multiply all the arrests that we have for the 2 weekends of Coachella, and it still won't equal a day of the Drunk Cowboys.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, you guys. So he wants a pardon. And I guess they've said, yeah, you know what? The review board said, yeah, we recommend it. Now it has to go to Governor Lee.
The Tennessee Board of Parole unanimously recommending the governor pardon Jelly Roll, whose legal name is Jason DeFord. Jelly Roll has been open about the time he served for convictions ranging from a robbery when he was 17 to drug charges when he was 23.
I think it's important that I talk about it because it's a big thing. I want to give people hope and second chances, and also I never want to act like I'm running from what I did.
Jelly Roll telling the parole board during a recent hearing that he wants to be an inspiration for people who are now where I used to be, to let them know that change is truly possible.
I think he has a chance to rehabilitate a generation. I really believe that.
Davidson County Sheriff Darren Hall spoke on the Nashville natives' behalf at the parole hearing.
What we need in this country and our young people to see that mistakes are going to be made. It's how you handle that and own up to it and go do something positive with your life.
Which is great. I mean, he went, remember when he spoke at in Congress talking about how, what a hot mess he was, how he was a massive part of the problem. And I know that somebody just texted in and said, how can he get a pardon for felonies? Somebody, I've been busting my ass for 30 years. I'm not a felon, but I can't get my criminal history erased. It sucks. But there's also a service that Jelly has, a reach that not just about here either. It's not just, it's about worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
And he really is. Like, he goes to those prisons all the time, and that's a good thing because there's a lot of people stuck in those things, and they think they're going to be nothing, and they're going to get out. And I love the work that Matt does with that company, the people he works with, that organization.
Men of Valor.
Yeah, Man of Valor. It is. People they feel like they got no hope, and they need inspiration. They need to feel like they've got something coming out, because otherwise it just becomes a revolving door.
You can fall right back in, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think they look at it. Yeah, the reality for some people is, I can't believe he's getting this. Well, he's a star. Stars get other stuff. I don't know if you're aware of that. He probably doesn't fly coach. Probably doesn't fit in coach. Although he's lost a lot of weight. I'm not going to lie, Jelly, looking great.
Yeah.
But there are things that they can get. But there's also a reach that other people don't have. And I think we should give everybody the chance to earn back to get off these felonies, to get off of these things after a certain amount of time, to get them expunged in a much easier way. So not only they enter into society, but they've got something they're working for. Yes, I know the Tiger King should be released from prison. Always one.
Joe Exotic. Fancied himself a country music star, too.
Yeah. Somebody said, what service? I think what service can Jelly do? The service of getting out there, and he's got organizations he supports, he works with that are his. He gets out there and he gets into the prisons, which many people who talk a great game never even do. He is working in many ways with individuals he finds to do everything he can to help them build a path towards an opportunity, which, man, that's admirable. We need more people like that. And it's great to see, if you're in a situation like that, somebody who has been where you've been and where they've gone to. And we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think, Governor Lee's going to sign it, right?
Maybe.
Is he one of those?
I don't know, man. I mean, who knows? Who knows what Governor Lee will do?
What do you think he'll do? Is he a fan of Jelly?
I think he'll sign it.
Yeah. Well, and you've got a lot of people that are, the parole board's already recommended it. So, and so I think, what do you think he's going to do from here?
I don't think we have to worry about Jelly reoffending.
No, I don't think so either. So we'll see. But I found that interesting. A lot of stuff that we couldn't get into, we'll try to get into tomorrow, including the homeless, what's going on there as they try to clean them out. And it's funny, I was listening to the story today, and they're like, they really want their own area where they can be in charge of homes. And I'm like, no, this isn't working. Who thought that was a good idea?
By the way, I know what monkey butt is.
What is it?
And it's not pleasant, boys. Monkey butt. It's butt chafing.
Oh, that's the worst.
Woo, you don't want that.
I don't. It just makes my butt pucker now. Just hearing about it. Goodness me. No butt pucker, no chafing. But you know who's next? Matt Murphy. He's in studio next right here on the Chad Benson Show. Super Talk 997. Matt Murphy in the studio, ladies and gentlemen, as he gets over here to take over the program. What's going on, brother?
I was told earlier today that I look like Walter White just when he started the meth lab, like when he was still kind of nerdy. What do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think?
A little bit.
You know,
bit.
I think it's the jacket.
It is. Well, it is the jacket and the shirt, because he had a shirt like that a lot of times. So he's got like a Hawaiian shirt with the black jacket.
I feel good about it.
Like you're a high school teacher.
Yeah, but maybe I got some I never watched. Did you ever watch?
I didn't. You know
I
what?
did not watch.
The more that people tell me to watch something, the further I get away from that show.
I do the same thing.
I'm right there with you.
The best way to prevent me from doing something is say, "Hey, Murph, you gotta whatever follows, you gotta."
Yeah.
For some, and I don't even mean to do it. Something just goes off in my brain. It's like, I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm going to prove that I don't got to do whatever you're about to say.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter what you say.
Game of Thrones, man. You should watch it. Never seen it.
No.
And I like boobs and dragons. Right? So that's,
Or boobs on dragons.
No, I just like, I
don't know what they're doing over there. Apparently there was a lot of that.
I know there's a dwarf, right? Peter Dinklage. He went and ruined everybody's life, who was also his size. But I didn't like The Wire. Did you ever see The Wire? Never saw The Wire.
I've never seen The Sopranos.
No, I haven't either.
Man, we're very isolated. We're very
it's just like
sheltered people.
But you know what? I've never seen Yellowstone, but I watched 1883 and 1923, but I never saw Yellowstone.
I binged watched 1883 with the family over the ice storm. It was not last winter, but winter before last.
Yeah,
and they were there here for Christmas, and we could do nothing because it was an ice storm and everybody was boxed in. And so we managed to watch 1883, the entire thing. It was pretty good.
Yeah, and I liked 1923, but the latest show I watched was The Pit with Noah Wyle. Man, that's on Max. That is awesome.
You know what I do watch a lot of?
What?
YouTube.
Yeah, I watch a lot of that too.
A lot of YouTube. A lot of videos
Probably too much.
A lot of videos about, the
9/11 Inside is
all that, and the eight most scary camping encounters. And,
yeah.
God, I love the camping encounters. Why the hell would anybody go camping by themselves is beyond me, but they do, apparently.
That is weird, right?
Well, yeah, and I would crap myself. I mean, have you seen this? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah. Like you ever watch
people
Mr.
like camping
Bailey?
and then they turn on their camera and there's something outside trying to get into the tent?
Yeah, I love
the
that.
hell?
I don't know why anybody go camping by themselves.
No. Or really, honestly, at this point, why would you camp in a tent? Would you camp in a tent? I think
I'd take the kids
51
out.
years old. I'm done.
I would take the kids out to do it once or twice, but I'm not doing it like this is not like my thing.
Like primitive camping.
Yeah, I want to take them out like where it's like, will they have an outhouse? Well, it's not really an outhouse. It's more like a restaurant. It's just up the street.
Right.
I'm not going like really. I'm not walking out 20 miles somewhere. Come on, kids, we're doing this.
Our version of primitive camping is there's no microwave in the hotel room.
There's a yurt.
A yurt. Although over in Chattanooga, Knoxville, Pigeon Forge, they have these moon huts, which I'm really interested in. Like they're in the middle of the mountains, and they're called moon huts because like half of the structure is translucent.
Oh, that's
so you can see the stars.
So you can see what's coming to you.
Yeah, exactly. You can see the bears before they get to you.
That's cool. What are you going to talk about on your program today?
We will get into a little more deeply into the hemp discussion that kind of ended the show yesterday badly. I had a senator on, and it kind of went sideways halfway through the conversation, as certain things do. Well, he pulled the you're not old enough to understand this card, which I haven't had pulled on me in a long time, which was kind of funny. And then he vaguely accused me of wanting 8-year-olds to buy
Oh, is it one of those?
to buy dope.
I like that.
And then he claimed that Tennessee had the third least amount of binge drinking in America, which is absolutely not true. And so it just kind of went off the rails from there. But so we'll continue that discussion a little bit today.
I love it when things go off the rails.
What
did you say when he said, you want 8-year-olds to buy? So now you want to go and beat your kids
no, he said,
and give them some amp.
I was like, who said that? I said, who said that? I said, who said they want 8-year-old children? Nobody has said that.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, you said deregulation. I said, deregulation for adults is what I said. I didn't say deregulation for kids.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man.
Good God.
And then he brought up Woodstock.
Are you serious?
He did. That's what he said I wasn't old enough to remember. And I was like, you are? I think that's more of a reflection on you than me at this point.
And by the way, what are you going to say about Woodstock? They smoked weed and we all moved on with our life.
He said the weed was less
well, it is less potent.
I mean, that's one thing we agreed on.
Yeah, but still, get over yourself, for God's sake. God, they start clutching pearls when you talk about weed here.
And we're talking about new Coke today because I missed a big anniversary
cocaine
yesterday.
on the show today as well, ladies and gentlemen.
Hemp and
new
Coke.
cocaine versus old cocaine. Colombian or a little bit of yayo from over here?
I think the cocaine's taken a hit over the years.
Matt Murphy, straight ahead. Chad Benson Show saying bye.